Okay, let us start then. Here we go. Opening up the good old, what is it called? The notepad. Noting the start of stream in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I am not looking as I am typing in pre-session shenanigans. Here we go. On over to the D&D setup. Welcome back, folks. Dirk and the crew here with some good old D&D. And guess what, folks? I haven't updated the screen yet. Watch this magic. Cue the suspense. Some of us have had some upgrades. I forgot if it was last episode. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, last episode was a bit sad, if you remember. Rest in peace, Cam's headband, I should say. Which I was like, come on, such a dick move. Here we go, good old Raz Tiamat. Let it rot. See what I did there? Here we go. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Voila! Level 11 V2. Everybody liking it? I can't really tell much of a difference, but that's okay. Let's continue. Back to the group.
Loved how I was listening to the Stinky Dragon podcast, and they had they talked about Mummies Alive, and I was like, Mummies Alive? I had memory hold that.
Oh my lord!
And I remembered it immediately, and I was
Mummies
just sitting at work,
Alive,
and I was just had to stop as all these memories just converged on me all at the same moment.
Hang on, I need to.
You know that GIF that,
Yep, that
when
one.
they put the food in front of that husky or that dog, and they
Yes.
just have that 10,000 yard stare as they're going through like flashbacks in their mind. That's just what happened when you mentioned Mummies Alive to me. My eyes just defocused, and I can see through my wall.
To answer your question, Cetus, the Stinky Dragon podcast, which is a D&D podcast that was created by Rooster Teeth back in the day, but is now operated independently since Rooster Teeth is no more.
Rooster Teeth lost all its teeth.
Oh, I thought this was a furry podcast, but what the fuck?
No,
This is
no, they are
This
very
is-
much not furries, although I think some of them might be on the border, I'll be honest.
That would go a
Probably.
completely different direction.
Avantris probably has more like border furries, honestly.
Let's be honest, yeah, no. I think Avantris is definitely more closer to us.
It's really close.
I
said-
think
But you called the stinky dragon. It's like
one of the reasons I love that podcast, though, is Barbara Dunkelman, who did the voice of Yang Xiaolong in Ruby, but also plays, in this, she did a bard named Bart, which I just thought was so funny. I was just like, it's so low effort, but he was one of the funniest characters. And then now she's then she played Elga von Braun, a half-elf child vampire.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh.
Which is hilarious. Yeah.
No, yes,
Stinky Dragon
of course
Pod,
I'll
go.
grow up.
Stinky Dragon podcast. Check it out. It's really funny.
I'll have to.
But now we're on this podcast. Oh, we're not a podcast. But anyway,
Oh, this is a podcast?
no, we are definitely not a podcast. I do not want to put that much effort
Segue.
into editing.
It's PAWED cast.
A podcast.
A pod.
Maybe
cast.
if we were getting a bit paid, I would help with the editing on that.
I mean, yeah, it at that point it's like even Spotify doesn't give you that much anyway, so it's like.
Yeah.
But welcome everybody to another episode of Tyranny of Dragons, the Cold Blood War, Rise of Tiamat. In the background there, you can hear Adrian von Ziegler playing. Adrian is a wonderful individual, allows people to use their music free of charge. You can check them out on Spotify, on YouTube, on Bandcamp. You can also support them on Patreon. Thank you very much, Adrian. You're a wonderful dude. Let's get over here to the actual game screen. Ta-da! welcome to Waterdeep.
Oh, woo.
But yes, introducing our players, we have playing Eldrath, Myuuldrid, the Shifter Warlock Bard. We have Ethan.
Hello, I'm here.
Playing Cambro DeSalle, the Bearfolk Paladin / Warlock. We have Tazel Sixpaws.
I apologize. This one's going to be a bit long, but I wanted to start 2025 off right, and this one's for you, Ethan.
Oh.
I like smart bears and I cannot lie. You other players can't deny that when a Cam walks in with his headband gone and a dumb look on his face, you get mad that the dragon took it, but we had to overlook it. I don't mean to seem needy, but that Tasmacella, but it's so greedy. Okay, that's it.
That was amazing.
I love that.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I have been Dana Tagarong. We
That
are
again.
having... No.
Ooh. Put a smile on my face.
You went. I applaud you for going whole hog on that. That was incredible.
Thank
you went
you.
all in on that.
Like I said, starting the year off right.
That I appreciate that. That is commitment. Now, following that up, playing Arai Ghoul, the Tiger Folk Wizard, we have Saku Darkfang.
Come meet Amicus, the skeletal horse. Don't worry, he's good with kids.
He is very good with children. Playing Bastian, the Wolverine Folk Barbarian and Fighter, we have Dirk the Panda.
God, I want to stop using my brain right now. Fuck, another meeting.
That's a mood. God.
It's always
I
been
can
me.
understand.
Playing oops, I did not put the new overlay up here. Unfortunate. I shall update. I will have to fix that.
I
Playing
spent-
not Master Wei, but rather Prince Zichi, the Dragonborn Sorcerer Bard. We have Yao.
Unfortunately, I'm still reeling for what or what Tazel just did. I got like blasted straight back into VR chat, and I have play space down beneath the map to hide. Just
Didn't see it coming.
yeah, no.
I was impressed.
Never seen it coming. There we go. Updated. And then playing Poi, the Outer Latine Rogue Warlock, we have Cetus.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we do.
We
And we are
do.
happy. Happy indeed. When last we left our adventurers, Eldrath, the Shifter Warlock Bard, Cambro, the Bearfolk Paladin, Prince Zichi, the Dragonborn Bard, Arai, the Tiger Folk Wizard, Bastian, the Wolverine Folk Barbarian, and Poi, the Outer Latine Rogue, our heroes found themselves before the Council of the Ancients. Ancient metallic dragons who were weighing their options regarding their response to the cult's actions. After several concessions were requested and barbed words were exchanged, our heroes returned to Waterdeep, where they met with Pearl in the deepest catacomb of the dungeons. They discussed details regarding the Eldrath Feluthra and what had occurred since her arrest with Sunflare and the party. She explained that Sunflare had dedicated nearly all of his resources to the Misty Forest in an attempt to persuade the nobles of Evermeet to join in the conflict. Now having escaped death with the clone spell, he likely found himself back in a Koa with minimal guards and none of his strike squad. But with those thoughts in the back of their minds, our heroes went about preparing for their upcoming meeting with the factions of Waterdeep, where they were to present their findings and reveal the consequences of their action. We now join our heroes, several days ahead to rest, and now preparing to gather for the Third Council of Waterdeep. All right. So, just as it says, you have, I believe it was 2 days before you would be required to show up for the council meeting, which understandably, they definitely want you there for good reason. You guys are kind of at the forefront of this whole thing. So that is the main reason your presence is requested, of course. But also, there have been some developments since the last council meeting, one could say. But with that in mind, how do you go all about preparing in these final days before your meeting?
Should we go as a group to do the barding thing?
Yes.
I mean, if
I
we're all
think
gonna
it's
do
reasonable.
it, yeah.
Oh, if you're just going to be buying barding for your for the mounts and everything, that's going to take a little bit of time because most of them are going to need to be custom made.
Oh no, I know. To get the process.
Get the order
started.
in.
Yeah.
Get the order.
Oh,
in.
okay, yeah. No, that one, yeah, you could do that. We don't need to play that out because that's just going to be just a lot of haggling, which I don't want to do.
Why
The prince will be
stairs?
busy, but he does request that we meet with Vajra the day before the council together as a group. But he's got
Good talk to her
plans,
too, yeah.
you know. But the prince has plans for the next 2 days at least. So
Scheme is more like it.
Eames.
Cambro is probably going to spend like some time in between what work he's doing for the Temple of Bahamut. He's going to spend some time kind of like trying to reread a Draconic book, like whatever book that they may have had, which is like something that's given like as a primer to young Dragonborn for learning the language. And he's just going to be trying to like sound it out again, just because he does not want to forget the language.
Eldrath
So he'll
will
be-
tutor.
So he'll be in there just going, see Bahamut, see Bahamut fly,
Oh,
go
man.
Bahamut go.
You're almost getting it. You just gotta have a little bit more throat to
See,
it.
Bahamut, smite. Smite, evil smite.
there's that guttural sound in every word. That's how you know
Yep.
you're actually speaking it instead of like doing an accent. You know.
He accidentally belches once.
Yeah.
'Cause
We often discuss that
See
the-
Bahamut fly.
yeah, the very guttural nature of Draconic is the very deep into the belly kind of language.
You're getting
Somewhere
there.
there's-
You're getting there.
somewhere
Thumbs
there's a Klingon that's ear perking. It's
Look, I'm not saying that I had a copy of Romeo and Juliet in Klingon,
what you
but I
did.
am not saying that I didn't see one before. Just saying.
Did you
Anyway,
want to buy it?
I didn't have the money at the time, if I'm honest.
Ah.
Would have been a great it would have been a great addition to my collection. No joke. Anyway, sorry, that's the book nerd in me. As you you guys can request a meeting with Vajra. Due to the nature of the meeting, it is most certainly a higher priority for her. So she would make time for you, but she did say that she would only be able to really meet with all of you once. Really, that's the most that she can promise you, because she is still very busy.
Fair enough.
If we're going to move on to that directly, can Zachi do his things he's going to be doing first?
Sure. It should be fun.
Okay. So, at least for that first day, he would still go to the market and he would still go around and buy some more incense and herbs that are required. So that'd be another 25 off the amount of gold that would have. So let me do that really quickly. Where's my bag? My bag.
We did give you all your additional pay as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
I believe so
have it.
too. There it is.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that's nicely accounted for before I move on.
It's 1,500, right? Gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it
then
was.
I do then.
There you go. Was that correct? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I did my math correctly, I think. Anyway, and then for that first day, the thing that's most pressing on his mind, actually, is where they just came from. Not the Council of the Ancients, but rather the Elven Forests. And what they did there, sort of whom they met, and also what he was focused on along their journey as well, which were the spirits of that forest. And he would like to, with the help of his retainers, cast. Zip, 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 zip. I'm trying to click things, but I'm slow.
That's a weird spell.
zip, zip.
Zip, 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 zip. It's my favorite spell.
Zip,
Zip, zip, zip,
Ah,
zip, zip, zip.
yes. The ancient spells of the Scat Man.
Oh,
Zip,
no.
zap, zip,
Skap,
bap, bap,
rap, I cast divination. Skip top up. But yes, so
bap,
he
bap,
cast
making
that?
his character.
Oh no. All right. So he cast that, sort of calling towards that area. He's really calling the greatest sort of spirits that he might have perceived from like the Elven forests.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he
And then what question do you have to ask them?
okay. So whilst in the middle of his sort of longer ritual to do the whole thing, I assume that he gets some sort of sign that something is listening. And so he explains. We have great need for the ancient king to work with the Council of the Ancients. How best shall we allow this to happen?
As you ask this question to the ether, to the spirits, and it goes into this weave, and you can feel around you presence of something. It's something that has a long life, something that has seen so many things and has done everything it can to protect and defend the life and the light of the world. Go ahead and give me a religion check.
Religion. Let's see. Oh. That's not good. Oh, never mind. It's great.
It's great. It's good. It's all
Natural
good.
20.
I'm like, oh, I only have a 2. Damn.
Though you cannot see an image of an individual, of a person, or anything close to that, you feel the presence of Corlan Larariatham, the primary god of elves. As you feel their words radiate through your body, reverberating against your bones. This mighty voice, this ancient voice. The armor broken by past misdeeds can be repaired, but the tarnish on the metal will not fade until it is addressed. 'Cause. 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 'Cause.
That he thinks about this for a while, but eventually, as his ritual ends, he gives his bow and thanks. And he retreats to meditation about this phrase that he has heard from probably one of the greatest spirits he's felt from the forest, from the elves, in fact. The name that is sort of like unheard but heard in his mind.
Mm-hmm. The gravitas of the interaction definitely sits with you.
Yeah. Moment while I
that-
write things down.
The with that, unless anybody has anything else that they would like to attend to, we can move forward to
There?
your meeting. Hmm?
Oh, I mean, he bought that because he already has a set of incense, and he would wait for the next day, actually, to do the
Oh, you have one
same
more?
thing. Yeah, he would do the same thing, except sort of like he knows that dwarves are usually in fortresses and in the earth. He would direct that attention to sort of like spirits of the mountains, ancient things, and ask something similar about the dwarves. How would the dwarves be able to work best, or to yeah, I guess work with the Council of the Ancients?
Hmm. All right. As this time, as you spread your words out into the weave, at first it's this very silent, very empty kind of feeling, as if you are in a large empty space. And then in the distance, you can hear the sound of tink, 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 sound of a hammer on an anvil working a piece of metal. And then a of a piece being quenched. Go ahead and give me another religion check. See if you can catch lightning in a bottle twice. In all things, balance.
Balance.
Yeah, right.
My goodness.
We just left Christmas. We don't need the red and green anymore.
No, I'm getting the rest of the red and green out. You know, it's fine.
Okay.
The name escapes you, but this does appear to be a god of the forge. Something significant to the dwarves, though that significance is lost upon you. As radiating through you with a matching the cadence of the hammer hitting the anvil. A deal's a deal. You must honor it. Tink, tink, tink.
That she does the same, and thanks the unknown spirit, and ponders for the rest of his time until it is the moment where he joins the rest of the party to talk with Vajra.
Right. So, as you are all gathered the day before the meeting at Vajra Safar's Blackstaff Tower, where you are allowed in and greeted by Vajra in the lobby. As she does not waste much time in the greeting, as she merely greets you, waits till you're all within the range, and then slams her staff on the ground and teleports you all to her study. As she goes to sit in her chair behind her desk and motions for you all to have a seat. As she sits back and just looks at you all, I can give you about an hour at the most. What is on your mind?
Who would like to begin?
I'm gonna say the same thing.
What know you of our dealings with the Council of the Ancients?
I was apprised that you were to be meeting with them. I wholeheartedly endorsed your nomination. I believe that if there was ever a group of people who would stare down a bunch of dragons and not flinch, it would be your lot. And it seems I was right. As to your actual negotiations and whatnot, I am not privy at the moment, and I'm certain it will be brought up tomorrow, but insight would always be appreciated.
I'm trying to think of the best way. Since this must be brief, our task is this. We must get the elves of the wood and the dwarves of the mountains to negotiate and to apologize for past misdeeds to the ancient metallic dragons.
Ooh.
And then they will
Ooh.
help us.
That we couldn't just give them some treasure?
We did.
Cam
Well,
looks
snaps her
down
head
on
at
the-
that.
on the ground a little bit.
Oh, Cambro did.
He looks
It
up
was
at
treasure
Vajra.
of theirs, unfortunately.
I didn't know, so I had to give it back.
What are they gonna use it for?
Yeah.
They're so smart anyway. Bastian utters to himself.
I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was important to make them happy, right?
Yeah, just
Indeed
saying.
it was.
It was a nice
Indeed it
headpiece.
was. No
It was.
amount of treasure would resolve the deeds that has occurred from the past. And he casts like a cantrip of exposition about what those deeds are, from the elves and the dwarves against ancient metallic dragon kind.
Hmm. I don't know much about what the elves were involved with there. That is definitely not great. The dragon moots, though, I have learned of those in the past. Those were... They were not unpopular, I will say. It
That sound
was
kinda
seen
fun.
as... Well, it was a hunt, essentially. If ever there was a dragon spotted in the the borders of the dwarven lands, they would set out to conduct a hunt of the dragon moot, and they would kill the dragon, and big celebration, usually lots of drinking and food, so typical dwarven celebration, I would say. But it was viewed as a way to protect the kingdom, so it was not an unpopular thing.
Have they ceased since?
I think the last one was, I want to say, about 3 or 4 centuries ago. So they're no longer being conducted, but I would say there's probably a few people within the kingdoms that might have living memory of it.
I ask mostly because I have already spoken to great spirits from the elves and the dwarves. The one known as Corellon Larethian has made himself known to me in a much greater capacity, and merely has told me that we must address the tarnish. And
Or
that is
address
it.
the.
The Dwarven one, the one of the earth, the great sounds of the forge. It was much harder to speak to. But he spoke of a deal of honor. Which is all the great spirits could tell me.
Well, if there's anything I've learned about elves and dwarves, honor does mean a lot to them because they live long lives, and reputations do tend to precede you.
Much then to consider. What of your research on King Melandrock and his afflictions?
We have spoken with several of his court wizards, and also I have spoken with a cleric regarding the matter, and we do believe that everything has been restored at this time. We're not certain the full extent of what has been manipulated, but it does seem that what we know at this point is that it has been more or less revolving around Narenvain. That's really weird to say. We really thought he was dead. But Narenvain and the cult and the Eldrath Veluthra, basically. So, seems like everything has been cleared up. To my understanding, the perpetrator has been addressed. Whether they are alive or not, I don't know. That's a elven matter.
As it should be. Well, this is
We'll
enough
say-
to sate my curiosity. What of
Well, I
anyone
will
else
let
here?
you know that King Melandrock, to my understanding, has been in a bit of a dour mood since learning of all of these happenings. So I'm not certain what kind of mood he will be in tomorrow. But be warned, it might not go great.
Well,
Eldrath visibly rolls his eyes.
we always have alternatives. We do have alternatives, right?
I hope you do.
We'll figure something. Let's just hope we can, at the very least, put the suggestion in their mind.
Alternatives I do not wish to consider. But yes.
I will warn you also that remember when I said that Laurel was speaking with some people from Fae, from the Red Wizards? I have tried to advise her against meeting with them. However, it seems that a meeting is being arranged.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not certain exactly how this is going to play out. I will do what I can to protect Waterdeep as best I can from them, but I'm certain that you will become involved at some point. So be warned that you will be dealing with necromancers most likely in the future.
Ooh.
Her eyes flick at Arai at that.
Yeah, well, we deal with one all the time. It's not that bad.
He just breathes lightly.
Ever been to Thay, boy?
What?
Have you ever been to Thay?
Never heard. Probably sucks.
It does. It's absolutely awful. It's a land of oppression that is ruled by a lich who has a entire army of necromancers at his beck and call, and also the entirety of the country is overrun by undead, and they use them for their own gain, for their work, for their labor, for... It is gruesome, and they do it without any quandaries or lapse in morals. They don't care.
Sorry, it's a big narcissist who's in charge of a bunch of smelly old ghouls running an oppressive government. Yeah, I'm in Waterdeep, literally. This is nothing.
Narrows her eyes a little bit at that, but says nothing.
I
Hey,
don't understand
Come on, just
why.
lighten the mood.
Hmm.
I don't understand. Why would we want to deal with bad people like that?
I don't think we
Because of
want.
the... Oh no, we definitely don't want this. But because of
Duty calls.
Rathmodar's involvement, apparently he is not with the wizards, the Red Wizards anymore. He has defected, and they don't like that. So they are trying to reclaim him, and apparently they are trying to decide if they should do that themselves or if perhaps there should be an alliance, since we do have common goals in this matter.
That's that Rathmodar.
His name's even Wrath. That doesn't sound good.
He's no joke. He's quite a powerful... I understand he was not much of a necromancer as it was. He did learn some necromancy as is custom in Thay, but mostly an illusionist. Someone who had a very keen mastery of illusions, to my understanding.
Ooh, a trickster, eh?
Mm.
Well, I think we might get along just fine.
Sure. Does he
Those
sound
who
like
can-
back? Where and when is this meeting taking place with these Red Wizards?
As she holds up her hands in frustration, I have no idea. Nobody is committing to anything at this point, but apparently now we are sending missives, and now we're to expect an ambassador at some point. So,
Oh, Mrs. If I wasn't invited?
Maybe we should think more about tomorrow than all of this.
Well, I will be there, so if anything is needing my attention, I will be present.
Is this location supposed to be private, or is it a public hearing?
Well, it's not public, no, but it is going to be held within the within Castle Waterdeep. Yes.
I should make it simple.
Well, to my understanding, you will be present, of course. So, and if you are not, I'm certain that they will send guards to find you to make sure that you are present. So, I would advise against it. But if you're looking for excitement.
Chase
well.
through Waterdeep.
Not looking.
Just gonna say
And I
it
do
would
not
look bad
know
on
these
Laurel.
people.
All right. Well, looks like we got a busy day tomorrow.
I shall make my preparations.
Yes, shall I?
Well, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I have so much bullshit to deal with. But I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you for seeing us.
Of course. As she waves to the door as it opens, and one of the apprentices agrees to see you out.
All right.
As they motion out, the prince would like to let everyone know that before they go out to the council, when that meeting goes, he would like to be able to cast a few spells on all of them in the waiting room. That's it.
What kind of spells? Oh, bless.
I do have a meta question.
Mhm.
For those like watching, we're not aware that we had come up with a group name, and I
Oh, that'll
wanted
come up.
to. Oh, that'll come up. Okay, I
It'll
just
come
didn't want. I know if that had to be something done in game by us, but sounds like it's being handled. So I
I
will.
would assume that you all have had ample time to meet up with each other
Yeah.
for various happenings and socializing as well as preparing yourselves for your meeting, because you all are going to have to explain yourselves, so it's best to get your stories straight.
Presumably, also would let Lady Haventree know of like the group name. It might make things easier.
Oh yeah, no, she's 100% on board.
Okay.
In fact,
The
she
prince would
is very
Hmm?
excited.
Do we get little like
Perfect.
pins and merchandise?
Little plushie.
If we were playing Acquisitions Incorporated, yes, but no.
Haha.
If we get famous enough, then maybe all of Waterdeep will have our little stuffed animals.
From zero to hero.
I'm just picturing, the Hercules, but I'm an action
Yep.
figure.
The prince would
That
like
was
to
awesome.
address Cam
Mhm.
specifically at some point before the meeting. And would like to reiterate that now that Zerchi has shown his like true purpose, he knows Cam should know that he can deal with all the diplomacy. However, he wants to pass on the point that Cam is still the champion. The person that everyone looks up to, the paladin of Bahamut. Be brave. And stand up for what you believe in. He says all in character somewhere. I just don't feel like saying it right now.
Gotta save that voice for the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Canberra will nod and agree. I'll do my best.
All right. As you all get a good night's sleep, prepare yourself, and in the morning, getting a good solid breakfast, and making sure to clean yourselves up nice so that you can be presentable. Which looks like what to Cam?
Cam would have spent the majority of his morning shining the heck out of his his plate armor, and although he does everything he possibly can to make everything as clean and it looks good, but he does not bother with cleaning the Fang of Bahamut, because he even with his lowered intellect, he remembers what he was told in the shared dream about how something that looked like it had gone through the hells essentially and was not worthy of picking up or giving to a warrior, that it could be the vessel of greatness. And he's just like looking at the sword and thinking about those words and the words of Prince Zichi, and it's gonna be hard not to say Master Wei, but Prince Zichi, and just like stand up straight, kind of brush his hair back, and say a quick prayer to Bahamut and join the rest of the group.
Oh, right. Bastian, how does Bastian prepare himself to present for the council?
I mean, he really doesn't have many clothing options. It is like trying to pick out the cleanest relatively of his typical outfit, but the thing he focuses the most on is just making sure his hair is nice and slicked back, not disheveled. He knows that his fur, because it can be very like long or very fluffy and bushy, can sometimes get very matted and out of control. So he has some sort of brush on him that he's just God, it's been too long since I've done this. 1, 2, 3, and yeah, definitely a good. Man, I've out of character, never been one to really take forever to comb my hair, so I am back in character, say 40 minutes at least.
Oh boy, yeah. I mean, hey, as somebody who has long hair and has had long hair since I was 16, I will let you know, if you're doing it just to kind of get ready for a regular day, 10, 15 minutes maybe, get through it real quick. If you're trying to make it look really nice though, 40 minutes, yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah, especially as like kind of that shoulder, yeah, like kind of around the collar that he just has to make like
right on,
just not matted.
But definitely, as far as clothing wise, definitely trying to find the least stained, least cut, clothing that you have.
Indeed, that is just yeah. He is definitely not one to really buy any sort of fancy outfits or anything like that. Doesn't have room for it. Does not like. Doesn't really have much of a purpose for it. At least before getting here.
Well,
kind of a
one
surprise.
thing though that adds to the outfit, I would say, is that an item you don't often wear, and previously did not really consider wearing, but now that you have been promoted, you have been given a new cape that has the Order of the Gauntlets emblem on the back to signify your allegiance with the faction. It is really quality material. This one is explicitly made of leather. It is meant to be worn in the rough weather in combat. It is meant to last, and though it is a little bit rough around the edges in some places, it is solid and very well made, and it looks fantastic.
That was a very last minute. Oh shit! I almost forgot thing that he put on.
It definitely still has the creases in it. Yeah.
Takes it out
Just
of the
like
plastic bag.
absolutely. Yeah. What is this?
The dry cleaning tag is still on it.
It's like shit. Can I
What
iron
is
this?
this
I don't have enough time.
Oh, he is. You think he knows how to iron? Oh boy, he is bold of you. Nah, but he does kind of have like takes like 20 seconds to look and go like, all right, that's pretty nice, and just make sure it's tied on properly. But yes, a very
Right
nice
on.
cape.
Arai Ghul. How does Arai Ghul present himself?
Well, he gets the best clothes that he has available that are clean and well maintained to put together. As he's getting ready, though, he does remember the warning about the Fae that they were told about, because it's been hindering on his mind since they left. Because he's been pretty nervous about it, like very concerned about even having to deal with other necromancers. But he tries to put on like a fake smile, breathe a little bit, and just to add a little class, he hangs a little rope around his neck and brings Time out and pretty much requests him to hang on to the rope like a little necklace.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Yee.
How does Poi dress up for the meeting?
Not really any way different. He might like do a little thing to his like cheek tufts. I do think he might like try some new perfumes, try to make himself smell nice. But he's naturally very rugged, so he kind of owns it. So I think he'd like kind of go au natural.
It's like the trim just a little bit of the the errant whiskers around the just got those taken care of, and then it's like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, brushes his teeth, so nice winning smile.
One snip of one strand of hair. Okay, I'm done.
Yep,
I think we're good,
he
we're good.
Perfect.
doesn't do a lot.
All right. Eldrath Myuuldrid. How does he get himself set up for council? Almost said for court. That was a different kind of connotation.
Wait a minute. What do we know? What
I
are we
would be
told
less
here?
nervous if it was court.
Dun,
Oh.
dun.
Um,
Here in the Faerun court.
he's not really one to have any other clothing, so he still goes out in his usual robes and such, but he has made sure to dust them off, clean them up as best as he can. He'll redo his hair, making sure it's a nice tight braid. Maybe adding a few Celtic braids in there too, just to be a bit more, I don't know, spontaneous. He'll look himself over in the mirror, and then he'll promptly go through a few masks of many faces because he's just not sure about his look. But he eventually stops and just goes as himself. He makes sure that the Harper pin is inside his robes, his tome, and obviously his lyre is hanging off of his hip. Yep.
Right on. And the best for last. Fritz Zichi. How do we do?
Well, he wills his gems to sort of conceal themselves once more, and he wraps himself a little bit like Wei as he was before in the court, but loosely. He doesn't plan to stay there for very long. He plans to do another reveal of himself to those who don't know about his actual involvement. And he also gathers his vassals as much as he can. I don't know if Singe is actually reachable, but it would be fun. But he does gather them all, and he, as usual, is very well put together, even as Wei. Just Wei looks a little bit more like a traveler, but very quickly he will look much more like a prince.
Right on. All right. Well, as you are all brought into the sitting room of Lady Ramalia Haventree at the Castle Waterdeep in preparation for this meeting. as there with you all is Leosin, Erlanthar, Carlin, Amethel, as well as oh shoot, I forgot her name now. It was the lady who was involved
me.
with the one dragon.
It's me all the time.
When
was
God forgets
Dalmer?
your name.
Dalmerhelv, I believe it was. Oh goodness, this is embarrassing. I don't normally forget people's names. That's a lie.
Doesn't
It's
exist
okay, I
anymore.
understand. I understand, Dogma. It's all right.
It was
Stacy.
Stacy.
Stacy fake name.
Stacy.
Stacy fake name.
Stacy's mom.
Silmerhelv. Miss Silmerhelv. Dala Silmerhelv. Who is a just a noble in Waterdeep. However, you know that she has a connection with Nimur, the bronze dragon, ancient bronze dragon that you had previously met with. As everybody is seated in preparation, everybody looks fantastic except for Carlin, who looks like he just rolled out of bed. But he's not going into the meeting, so he doesn't care.
Carlin, my spirit animal right there.
Carlin doesn't give a shit on any day. In fact, he has already tried to start smoking one of his cigars, but has been promptly stopped by Leosin each time.
Just
Oh,
imagining
cigar
you
slabs.
pulling some monk shit out.
No, actually, because Leosin actually has prestidigitation, so he can actually put the fire out.
All right.
Well, the prince is going to be very busy internally going through as much information as possible, so he seems distracted. If there's anything else that other people are doing, he will be preparing actually before, and he'll keep like careful watch of the time before the council is called. He will ritually cast telepathic bond to everyone, and also has decided internally that himself, Cam, and Eldrath are probably the ones that are going to speak the most.
Aw.
At least thinking so.
But
And so he
fair.
will probably cast, and by probably I mean he definitely does,
Keyword expected.
right before the meeting occurs, a 4th level enhance ability, charisma. Wait, is it 4th level? Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 of them. And he will be holding on to that. A caw. You just hear it from like the from the waiting room.
The advantage on all charisma checks, I believe. Yes.
Yes.
Just ability checks, I think.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
We're probably gonna need it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boy,
it's
doesn't
not-
need it.
Saves are different. Okay, so yes. Just on charisma checks. Okay, and then Rary's telepathic bond. And that's with everybody. Anybody else included? You said.
He'll include his party, which should be 6 people, I think, right?
I believe we can do up to 8 on this one.
Yeah. Who else is in the room? Are they willing?
Lady Haven.
Leosin would be. He's okay with that. If you offer it to Lady Haventree, she would decline.
Okay.
Because she would not want to be seen by any of the other nobles as doing anything like that, because it could be seen as it could be seen in a poor light for her position.
Yes.
Are there any ways that-
way to metagame? Just kind of saying.
It is. Wow.
Whoa.
Kudos to you.
So he'll invite Leosin along, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leosin has some intel that you guys. Well, a lot of it is Eldrath has some knowledge of, but also he has been working with, as it turns out, he has been working with the Silver Dragon. So he has also received some intel that he is privy to that he can share.
Zuchi just merely explains that there is so much that has gone on that he just wants to make sure everyone can actually chime in
Just
when they need to.
A
Yeah.
deluge. A deluge
There's so
of
much.
like
Yeah.
imagery and like things and going into Leosin's mind as he just sits there like vibrating and shaking as blood comes out of his nose. Just, no, you're
Because
overloading.
otherwise, if there wasn't magic, he'd like the prince would probably be bringing reams of paper. Just be like, oh, where's my notes?
As you will see on
Yes.
the diagram.
And the first
no.
PowerPoint was born.
Yeah, basically.
It's just a
Anyway.
series of minor illusions cast over and
Right.
over again.
Right.
All right, cool. So got that set up for you all. So you are able to communicate with each other telepathically. So just as a to preface, just say telepathically when you're speaking with somebody, so that we know not to have anybody else react. So last thing you want is a whole bunch of nobles to suddenly be like, "What did you just say?"
Just says telepathically
Did
out
you call
loud.
There's
Telepathically.
gonna be
They can't.
a lot of
They
curse
can't-
words floating around our minds.
They can't.
Oh no.
They can't detect. I mean, unless we mess up, I assume they can't detect our telepathic
You never
bond, can
know.
they?
If
I mean,
somebody
there's a
was aware
possibility.
of magic.
Yeah.
Okay. well,
They could just be like sitting there ritually casting detect magic constantly if they wanted to. So
I have
Oh.
a question. I don't know. It just popped up in my mind. But if someone casts detect thoughts on one of us, would they be
Yeah.
and they do all the passing and everything? Would they be able to hear the other people in that person's mind?
No.
No?
Because that is a separate thing. Because the detect thoughts only allows them to read your thoughts, not a
Okay.
connection like that.
I didn't know
so-
if there was some meshing between the two, because
No, because
But if you're-
detect thoughts is a level 2 spell and raries is a level 5.
gotcha.
But if you're talking to someone in your mind, they might be able to put 2 and 2 together.
That's
Like the surface thoughts might
If
be
there was
around that.
Yeah, if the surface thoughts were going in that direction, that could come up. Yes, that would be a valid concern, I would say.
I'm speaking to my tattoo.
All right. Well, let's do.
All right.
Actually,
Anyone
speaking of,
else's palms sweaty?
I wonder if we should like cast detect thoughts or like detect magic just in case they're
Mhm.
I
do
could I could cast that ritually. Yeah.
well at like a certain point, maybe.
I-
All right. Okay. Well, whatever.
I will cast it ritually, detect magic, before we go in. Like if we get a 10-minute, like, hey, we're about to start, Eldrath would cast that.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
As you spend the last few minutes of your prep time casting your spell ritually, as everybody else prepares themselves. Just as your spell goes off, you are all collected and summoned to the main meeting chamber, where you all begin to take your seats. Now, important to note that most of the seating has been divided amongst factions. Just kind of the way they do things for these kind of meetings. So most of the Lord's Alliance is in kind of one area. They're typically on a bit more of a pedestal in that sense because they do represent the will of the nobles, essentially. So that dynamic is still present. But like all of the Harpers typically sit in an area together. Most of the Hoarder of the Gauntlet people sit in an area together, as well as like the Emerald Enclave. But there's not a lot of Emerald Enclave people here. In fact, you see only one person, and that's Delan. So it looks like the Emerald Enclave has not sent anybody other than Delon. So, with that in mind, those of you who belong to factions, do you wish to sit together, or do you wish to sit in your respective factions?
Considering we have the telepathic bond, I think Cam's going to sit in his factions, and if he needs to talk to people internally, he'll just use the magic Wi-Fi.
What's a password?
Getting
I'll try.
Discord
I
pings inside your head.
I forgot 69.
Oh, thanks. 60. Oh. It's not
Alright.
working. Lowercase? Alright, yeah.
Zochi
Okay.
will sit with Silverhound if as her guest. So
As you sit in a seat, a row of seats that are behind Laurel on the what is a very curved table, where several of the Lord Alliance members, as well as leaders of the other factions, are sitting, with the seats behind them filling up with their underlings and their associates. As you take a seat with your attendants next to Vajra Safar.
oh, perfect.
Fancy meeting you here.
Likewise.
Humor.
As Cam, you go to the Harper's area.
Mm-hmm.
Eldrath.
Yeah, he'll take a seat next to Leosin. It's been a while since they've hung out.
Right on. Poi, you are
Yeah.
with the Harpers as well, if you'd like to.
All right. He doesn't really have a preference.
Arai, you are welcome to sit with the Harpers as well as one of their associates, though you are not a member.
Yeah, he'll just join over there because he just doesn't know where else to sit.
Yeah, you're kind of the oddball out here. As far
It's
as
like real life.
yeah, all.
Aww.
Saying that jokingly, don't worry.
Yeah.
Bastian with the
I
Order
was-
of the Gauntlet behind Ontharf Room.
I was gonna ask, yeah, he's there. Also thinking,
Yep.
yeah, this would be weird not to sit with them, especially with my fancy cloak.
Yeah. Well, present currently at the large rounded table is Lady Silverhand at the front in the middle, who you know is of course the Open Lord of Waterdeep, so very powerful person in Waterdeep. Amongst the Lord's Alliance, there is Dagalt Neverember, the former Open Lord, now just a noble of Neverwinter. Conrad Brawnanvil, who's a dwarf ambassador for the Dwarven Kingdoms. You recognize King Melendrock, the king of the High Forest and the Misty Forest. There is also Sir Isteval, your associate that you had met out in Daggerford, representing Daggerford and Cormyr.
Mm-hmm.
Delon, of course, is there looking very uncomfortable. Not his kind of place. Ontharf Room, the male human, big burly man, leader of the Order of the Gauntlet, is there. And of course, Lady Haventree is present. You do see that there is another person who has been who is sitting behind Lord Neverember. It is a female tiefling with very pale skin, very pale white skin, and these long horns that go up about like a foot into the air. Very long black hair, dressed in what looks like very nice leathered leggings with knee-high boots and a very nice leather jerkin over top. And just seems to be looking very bored, kind of disinterested. Go ahead and give me an insight check. We'll see how y'all zero in on this.
Better not be a 0.
Insights.
Pretty zero. Close to it.
Yeah. Insight.
Wow.
Boy to save the day.
Thanks,
All right.
boy.
Yeah, maybe should have. Maybe should have. Can I open my thing? Is it? Come on.
That's usually how it works.
There we go. Insight.
Inciting. Inciting. Whoa.
It's fine. We're getting all of our low rolls out of the way.
Wait, did I get the best roll? Oh my god.
No,
No?
that would be
No. Best natural.
No, it's
oh, the best on the die. Yeah, on the die.
the
Oh,
best
Yeah,
on the
best
die.
on the die.
Gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Platinum Dawn, everyone.
Woohoo, where's my...
as the tiefling just looks very bored as she has her elbow perched on the armrest of the chair and her chin is in her hand. She just looks very not excited to be there at all.
You and me both.
But as everybody settles in, taking their seats, there's lots of people looking around at other people, making eyes, a couple of connections with a few people as they recognize each other from various other meetings that they may have gone to, other walks of life. Some of them looking at you and recognizing you also from your activities and some of your achievements as well. A lot of them are looking at Cam. There's a lot of chatter about Cam.
Does Cam notice this?
Give me a perception check. You can hear that a lot of people are talking about the fact that you have now slain 2 dragons. And the name Dragon Slayer Cam does seem to be spreading a little bit.
There's this blush like on the tips of his like rounded white tufted ears, but it's kind of hard to comb through with the black skin of the polar bear. So it's just right now, just his ears are becoming heat dishes of as he's blushing from all of that. He's kind of murmuring to himself, "It's like, it wasn't just me; it was everybody." But okay.
As Lady Silverhand stands and everybody comes to attention, eventually quieting down. I welcome you all, esteemed delegates and representatives, to another gathering of this council. Would that it be unnecessary to meet, but there are forces at work that prove to be a threat to Faerun as we know it. To date, we have witnessed this sect of the Cult of the Dragon work to advance their goal, that of summoning Tiamat to the material realm, as there is a murmur that goes through the room. They have raided towns, killed officials and civilians, stolen artifacts, and allied themselves with hostile groups in the pursuit of their goals. We must respond, and I implore you to listen with an open mind today, so that we may come to an agreement. The first matter at hand to address, as I'm sure we are all eager to, is that of the matter in the Misty Forest that was brought to our collective attention recently by Lady Haventree and her agents. I shall yield to Lady Haventree and her group as she sits, and Lady Haventree stands and motions for you, Cam, and everybody else to stand and gather towards the front of the table, so that they can address all of the delegates and representatives together.
Cam does so.
Okay.
Our eye stands.
As Lady Haventree looks at you all with a warm smile, to showing her support. Thank you, Lady Silverhand. I wish to introduce you all, this coalition of individuals from all walks of life, who have a united, singular goal: to stop Tiamat and her forces. I am pleased to say one of my own is among their numbers, Sir Cambro de Sal, Paladin of the Temple of Bahamut, and under their guidance they have done incredibly well. It is not one individual's efforts that drive their success, however. Among them are 6 members, each specialized in their fields, and strong enough to go forth and be the change in the world that is needed. I understand that your group has formed a proper mercenary group title. Is this correct, Sir Cambro?
Yes, Lady Haventree. We have come to a decision, and we have decided that our name for our group should be the Platinum Dawn. We felt that that was a very strong nod to the influence of the King of Good Dragons on our behalf, who has helped all of us in one way or another, and also Dawn, because everybody I know looks to the dawn with a smile and hope. And it's our hope that when people see us, that hope will continue and it will grow and make people feel better and about what's coming.
I need you all to give me a group charisma check. Just straight charisma.
Ooh.
Those of you who have advantage from your abilities are allowed to roll at advantage.
Okay.
Not my best.
It's Poi. Charisma. Yeah.
All right. Awry with the lizard skeleton around their neck is certainly a sight and definitely inspires some thoughts. Confidence would not maybe be the first one. Poi definitely has a air about him of a grizzled sailor, someone who might perhaps not interact with the nobles very often, and thus has a certain demeanor that may come off a little bit harsher than expected. However, the rest of you, standing proud and tall, with your well-polished armor, your well-creased cape, your very tightly braided hair, and looking properly regal and respectful, there seems to be a camaraderie behind you. You know, there's this feeling of like people are like, yeah, Platinum Dawn, I like that. As Lady Haventree smiles and then motions to your group, I will surrender the floor to the Platinum Dawn so that they may recount to us the events of the Misty Forest. So, who's gonna do it?
Well, counting the events of the Misty Forest, I think. Wait, actually, we could just talk in telepathically. Poi's gonna
Yep,
ask.
you all have telepathic bond at the moment,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask.
You know, why am I typing?
Yeah.
All right. Real quickly. Yeah. Right.
We
Like.
will say telepathic speech is done a little bit quicker than in actual, so you do have a little
That's
bit
true.
of.
Poi's going to
I'll give you
inquire.
a little bit of grace on this.
Poi's going to inquire if we're coming clean about every little bit, every little detail.
Zichi would like to suggest that whatever story that they make, it should be in the eyes of the Harpers and that you are all heroes. And he would like to leave the Council of the Ancients to himself.
All right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Poe's going to ask if we start with the village or if we start with the cave.
Eldrath could give a brief prologue because he was there a little bit earlier than the rest of the group had been, and just explain the situation of the Eldrath, Luthra, and the cult working in tandem and influencing the nearby village, as well as their movements. But then, yeah, then we could probably go from there, and when everyone else arrived.
Cambro
If that
can
works.
take. Yeah, Cambro can take the battle in the dragon's lair. That's the freshest memory. He should be able to recall that pretty easily.
Zichi
Oh,
will
sounds
make
like we
a
got a plan
small motion about, just a small one, about getting some like assistance from the prince to allow entry into the forest, and make mention about, not about his initial scouting, but them quote unquote coming across destroyed villages, etc. And also because it is relevant to him whenever we talk about the travel, that there was help from the forest and their druids.
Is Poi gonna add anything about the Eldrath Villager?
Yeah, Poi would talk about his. He would talk about the confrontation with Sunflare. Maybe like he might also sprinkle in that Pearl did defect.
Yeah.
Explicitly.
Absolutely.
And that, well, he also he's gonna also allude to the fact that Sunflare isn't dead yet, but that he is. I don't know if he wants to do it. He's going to talk about Akoa and the fact that Sunflare is currently at there now due to the clone spell. So he's going to detail that, and he's really going to imply like, hey, this guy's defenseless. Why don't we do something about it?
So the way I'm seeing it, would start off with Eldrath talking about going to the village, and everything there. Then we lead into Poi's tracking down of the Eldrath Veluthra, leading to the dragon's lair, and then Cam would finish it off with the description of what happened in the cavern.
Could I possibly at least tail end it with my explanation for the death of Naramvane?
Sure.
Just to explain the defense. And
I do appreciate you guys going through it all and everything before, but I would like to hear it in the characters' words, of course. So, it doesn't have to be long. Just
It'll be the summary.
Right.
But
everybody, put your telepathic hands in.
Spring.
All right.
Platinum Dawn! All right.
All right. Let's do this.
Sinking into the floor again.
Yeah, get back up here. Okay.
Let's win one for the Zichi. Come on.
I guess I'll start.
You're up first.
Greetings, honored gentlemen and ladies. I am Eldrath Myuuldrid, formerly a member of the Interlopers. I was tasked by the Harpers to do a solo mission into the forest. While there, I was able to track down both the Eldrath Veluthra and the Cult of the Dragon working in tandem. Their influence over the nearby village was staggering in some sense. It seems as if they wanted control, and, well, the rest of my team can explain in more detail. They were able to infiltrate the village itself properly. Was that good?
In your in your mind, just looking at everybody like.
I don't know how much summary you guys
And-
want.
Mental
Thumbs
thumbs up.
sign. Yeah.
Telepathic thumbs up. There you go.
Yeah.
Mental emoji. Smile.
Zichi,
think
as a
Cam.
way, will speak up. Oh, okay.
Oh no! Go ahead. Go ahead.
Zichi, as a way, would like just speak up. He forgoes any sort of introduction and kind of rides upon the fact that they are talking as a team. I will not speak of elven politics. However, we did acquire permission, or at least some form of plea for assistance for members of the royal family. And so, in following as many protocols as we could, due to their authority, we went through the forest to investigate ourselves. He passes it on mentally to Cam to explain.
I was under the impression Poi was going to take on.
Oh, or
from-
Poi.
Yeah.
The involvement
Alright.
with the Eldrath Veluthra, right?
Yeah, it's his bag.
Did he?
All right. Well, g'day, ladies and gents. Looking. All right. So, at the cave, we were encountered with. Is anyone here familiar with Valaris Sunflare? Leader of the Akoa Moralden Sunflare, leader of the Akoa dispatch in for the Eldrath Veluthra. No one?
There doesn't seem to be anybody who is aware, or at least they do not make any motion to respond, at least.
All right. Well, he's a pretty big figure there, and well, he's also my. He and I are. Let's just say we have a history together. And it's not relevant right now, but we encountered him in the cave alongside a group of his protégés, one of which was another late teen, much like myself, named Pearl. We engaged in combat, and this young late teen defected, and because of her, we were able to vanquish him. Or so I thought. Now, this came a lot later after we slayed the dragon, but Worlden is not dead. He used a clone spell and is likely back in Akoa right now, which is defenseless, might I add. Like, we could very well liberate them from the stranglehold the Eldrath Veluthra have. I'm just putting that out there. And anyways, yeah.
Guess that's my half.
Canberra
Oh, wait.
will. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's the cave. Poi just explains about he. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this took place in a cave. Yes, a cave.
Bastian gives a thumbs up in the background.
Just like
Yeah.
Zetchi is
This
just going
all-
to just interrupt. I apologize. Our Latine friend is moving towards the end of the tale. Let me weave you something on the way there. There was much destruction, poison in the land, destroyed villages, chaos, disorder. One village at the edge of the forest was utterly annihilated. And as we followed the road inwards, we found one that survived. Yet was marred, scarred by the throes of a green dragon and the cult of the dragon. We spoke with Galen. We received his help. We found this Volden Sunflare in a clearing, attempting to utilize his power over this village to gain even more control. Then we took a trek through the wood to find the hideout. Along the way, it appears that the forest and its guardians noticed our presence and knew we were there to help. A great archdruid gave us her blessing. And the spirits themselves did as well. That is when we engaged the cult of the dragon in their hideout.
Well, it wasn't as simple as that. Their hideout was in a cave hidden by a waterfall. One that was guarded by the green dragon. We had to begin our trek into the cave past the waterfall, where we were met with not only the dragon, but many other guards with it. He'll toss the story back to either Cambro or Boy.
Canberra will stand up and address everyone. We went into the waterfall. We found a green dragon. Think he was named Chuth. And he had a rider. We found out later that that was Narenbane, and his eyes go to King Melandrar.
His gaze has been on your group this entire time, but he has not made any motions. He is just watching, observing. However, when you mention Narenvane's name, there is a murmur that goes through the entire room. So much so that Lady Silverhand has to call for order.
Cam waits for it to calm down and he continues. They sent cultists, ogres against us. When we fought them, Chuth and Narenvane escaped deeper into the cave. We went after them, but before we could find them, we found the Eldrath Veluthra. Sunflare was there, kind of making fun of one of our own, kind of taunting us like a bully. And we resisted that, and we went to fight them. It was not an easy fight by any means. It was very rough. We had, and he turns to look at Poi, one of our own go down. Lost his life.
I got better.
Had it not been for Pearl switching over and saving his, and bringing him back from the dead, he wouldn't be here now. For that, we're grateful. Once we finished that, we tried to take a little bit of a rest to kind of heal up and everything, but Truth was there threatening to come in and kill us if we didn't come out and engage him, so I went out and I distracted him and his followers while the others took positions to deal with the rest of the group as they saw fit. Again, it was a very long and hard battle. It got to the point where I was able, with everyone's assistance, this wasn't just me, everyone contributed to this, and I killed Truth, and I attempted to knock out Narenvain, but I failed. And I would have died myself had it not been for the quick thinking and the bravery of one of our own. And to that, he looks over to Bastian.
Bastian stands up. Thank you, Cam. I sincerely apologize for what had happened in the end. I meant to only knock Narenvain unconscious, but had miscalculated my trajectory on the final blow and had killed him as a result of it. I was worried for my own party's sake, of our own lives, that it was just something that we tried to do. I'm very fortunate that we still have Canberra, brave leader here, and that my heart really does go out to all those who did have Narenvain in their hearts, as horrid as his actions may have been. But it was part of my oath as being in the Order of the Gauntlet to protect those that are part of my allyship, and that this was a result of battle. Once again, not my intention to kill, but to do what was necessary to keep my own safe. Thank you, Cam, for handing the floor to me. And Bastian just kind of awkwardly sits back down.
Thank you, Bastian, for everything.
Poi's gonna look at the audience. He wants to see the crowd reaction.
There is a lot of murmuring in the amongst the factions, as well as a few of the people that are with the Lord's Alliance. Most of the representatives and delegates are observing. However, you do note that a darker skinned male human wearing a very nice noble garb with a crest that signifies that he is a Baldur's Gate is leaning over and whispering to a another human, an older man wearing wizard robes, and the two of them are just having a quick conversation to this a little sidebar. But otherwise, the mention of Narenvain dying did not seem to cause any ripples, so to speak. More so that Narenvain was present was the surprising factor. But as far
And
as his
role,
death,
most likely.
yes, and his role involving this, yeah. So that his death was not seen as a surprise, and it does not seem that there are anybody who seems to be mourning him.
Always gonna relay that. Eh, might not have been as much of a political blunder as I thought.
Bastian just audibly sighs it telepathically. Telepathically sighs.
We finished the battle. We searched the lair, and we found a book that Narenvain was writing, talking about the plans for the cult of the dragon, and that we had posed a big threat to them. And we returned, gave our report to Lady Haventree. And that is pretty much what has happened. I do not believe I've left anything important out. Thank you. And he walks backward.
As you pull back, and there's murmuring amongst the room as Lady Silverhand smiles and says, "Thank you, Sir Cambro. I will open the floor to the delegates and representatives if they wish to ask any questions of the Platinum Dawn." As Dagalt Neverember, the nobleman of Neverwinter, the former Open Lord, big red beard coming down, big massive head of red hair. So you say that you have gone out into the Misty Forest and did seek approval, but prior to that, where did this information come from? As Delon speaks up at that information would have come from me. I did bring this forward at the last council, but was promptly shouted down. And you do note that Melandrock does seem to look a little, I guess one could say a little guilty at that. Yeah, maybe a little bit perturbed by that. But to that point, Lord Neverember, looking back to your group, it still remains that you did seem to seek to betray the sovereignty of the Misty Forest, and now you also ask, as he looks to Poi, you ask us again to violate the sovereignty of Akoa, which has been formerly colonized by Evermeet, and to do so would court political discord between us and Evermeet, which would only exacerbate these conditions that we find ourselves in.
Poi's going to. Well, I mean, are you aware of? Excuse me, my lord. Are you aware of what they are doing? on a Koa?
I am not.
Oh, well, allow me to elucidate you. I was one of Sunflare's proteges, and what is currently occurring on those islands is nothing short of inhumane. I would say that it would behoove all of us from a spiritual and moral perspective to liberate them from these elf supremacists, these cultists. Recognizing their legal sovereignty or not, I don't give a rat's ass about that. If you are contributing to this level of misery, then you have a tell me, sir, if you had family currently under the rule of, let's say, a dictatorship, whose sovereignty was officially recognized by your state, would you also not wish to have something done about it, even if it flies in the face of your the sovereignty?
I understand that this is important to you, sir. But I am here on the matters of Neverwinter and Faerun. And what you are describing to me is a unfortunate situation, yes, but it is not the concern of the Lord's Alliance at this moment.
Then when will it be a concern? When has it ever been a concern these past decades?
As it
As far as I
stands, we have very little political leeway in which to work in that matter. And I'd be happy to speak with your group on the matter and work to find a good solution. But as it stands today, I am here on the matters of this Cult of the Dragon and the Eldrath Veluthra's involvement.
Sunflare got away, sir. The Eldrath Veluthra is still involved. We're doing what we can to help as many people as we can. Not just in Waterdeep, not just on the Sword Coast, but as many people as we can. And that includes Akoa. And that includes the Misty Forest.
Eldrath would speak up too here. If this is an issue of sovereignty, then the Cult of the Dragon has broken that many times over. They attacked Greenest months ago. No declaration of war. No laws they followed. The Cult of the Dragon is at war with you and your people. And any who join them are part of that. So if there is any question of sovereignty, I believe people you are at war with, you can invade their lands all you want. Am I wrong?
That is a gross simplification, perhaps.
Gross or
But
not, is it true?
I would warn against such brash decisions being made at this moment. That I only ask in these matters to be informed of the whole story here. To that point, the man from Baldur's Gate holds up his hand. I do find myself with a question, actually. You're saying to them these people are to be held accountable for their actions, their transgressions, yes?
I mean,
They need to be stopped. Or else more people will die.
Does that mean that you will also stand for your transgressions as well? You have
Is he do-
admitted that you are one of his proteges, that you worked with him.
I beg your pardon.
What matters of war crimes did you commit under his control?
I was a pup then.
That was even before they had joined the cult, was it not, boy?
It's been decades since then. I was a child. All of them were children. I had to kill some of my former classmates just recently who were still aligned with it. If I had, you don't know, you couldn't possibly know what it's like to be in that position.
Perhaps not. But I do know
Wait.
that all should be accounted for, and that the arc of justice is quite long.
Where would like to speak up and interrupt? Boy, have you been involved in anything related to Sunflare after severing ties? This is a simple yes or no question.
No. I was trying to
Good
run away.
gentlemen. Yeah.
I was trying
Good
to run
gentlemen.
away as far as I could. Looked like even Waterdeep wasn't far enough.
Boy has spent his entire life in the attempt to liberate his people. He learned from this individual, but escaped early. Now, in terms of his danger, this is a matter of the fact that he is a very high-ranking person in the Eldrath Veluthra, which seeks to align itself with the Cult of the Dragon, which has already marred these lands. What issue do you have in acting?
There is a murmur amongst the group. And then the gentleman from Baldur's Gate speaks up. I only ask for the purpose to understand your position. Because what you have asked of us is nothing short of declaring war against a group. Now, you say that the Eldrath Veluthra has been trying to align themselves with the Cult of the Dragon, and that this Sunflare seems to be the one who has led this charge. Is that correct?
There are schisms in the Eldrath Veluthra, but yes, a important branch has aligned itself with the Cult of the Dragon, headed, perhaps. And then he asks telepathically, "Do we have the documents? Do you have documentation?"
Well, he's going to ask if there's been an official declaration of war towards the cult yet.
No, that's what we're trying to do right now.
Yeah.
I think.
Um,
But
They
I remember
can't
that
really
we had
declare
documents.
war because they're not really a sovereign nation. But
I
yes,
guess so.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we still have
Domestic
telepathy?
terrorists.
Do we still
always
have
gonna ask-
the? Do we still
Go
have the
ahead.
book?
Has
book
I
from
believe we
Nervain.
do.
The book? Yes.
Gave it to Haventrue, didn't we?
I think we did.
although I recognize they're not exactly a nation themselves, have we not essentially declared what is tantamount to war to Tiamat and the Cult of the Dragon? I don't think there'd be any objections among us in this room if we have yet to do so. Tell me, do you support waging war against these people, sir? I'm not asking about the Eldrath Veluthra. I'm asking about the cult. I'm asking about waging war against Tiamat.
Boy, we should answer his question first. Lady Haventree, would you be able to elucidate upon the information that we have given you?
I can, in fact. I have looked into the matter, and I have learned that Sunflare being in Akoakoa is a direct attempt to expand their naval reach. They are intending to procure more sections of islands in order to create an area where they could perhaps engage in blockades, perhaps to shake down other trade routes, to perhaps push themselves into the middle of the trades as well. It does seem to be that they are positioning themselves to come out on top of this conflict, and it would seem that while most of the others back in Evermeet are less than thrilled about the idea, they are willing to listen. It's entirely possible that if we gave them a black eye, maybe they'd think twice. As there's a murmur that runs through the room.
Would it not directly hurt your would it not directly hurt your markets? Would there be a blockade from this hostile faction? He poses like rhetorically.
As many of the delegates and representatives seem to look around the room, and you do see it in their faces. They do acknowledge the very real threat to the economy. If there is, in fact, to be a blockade, if the Eldrath Veluthra were to follow through on such a plan.
Telepathically, Eldrath's like, yeah, hit them in their pocketbooks. That's how you'll get them.
Once again, we do not wish to engage war with the entirety of Evermeet. This is a branch of the Eldrath Veluthra that has shown alliance with an openly hostile cult. We ask only for support in that.
On that matter, as King Melindrock begins to stand, I would wish to speak to this council. As he clears his throat, and we are going to go to a break.
Well,
Yay!
Yeah.
Suspense.
Hey,
Yep.
politics.
Yep. Try to get through this here. Don't worry.
So many politics.
Started going into the play-by-play there for a second. I was just like, "Whoa, we're getting into it."
I know, I was like,
Yeah.
that
You
is...
told You told us. You told us in your own voice.
I-
Okay.
In your voice, yeah, sure. I mean,
In an essay. Please subscribe in 500 words or more.
We still haven't got to the dragon part yet. Oops. That's gonna be
Nah,
fun.
they
It's fine.
it has been brought up that they don't need to get the whole play-by-play of the fight or anything.
And we
No, I
have
mean
the
the
other
dragon
dragon
court.
head, right? I mean, we gave it to Lady Haven Tree. She's
No,
probably
I mean,
no, you
gonna
brought
hop
the
around.
evidence.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about the dragon court.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that part, yeah, no, that's gonna come up.
I'd watch
It's
that.
fine.
But,
I have this. It's okay. Just.
okay.
Dragon
Shit.
Court.
Telepathically
there a-
hyperventilating.
Is there a market for?
Back in like 5 minutes here, folks.
All right.
5 minutes.
Same.
Is there a market for? Is there a market for relinquishing powerful magical artifacts? I'm not sure there is.
This is intro.
Sorry, folks, I am going to deafen them and mention this is the part where we take a 3-minute break, ad break in particular. And if you are subscribed, like a certain someone here that I missed your subscribe a bit ago, but Eli, 29 months, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're too kind, and I always appreciate having you here. Yeah, very cool guy. But thank you for the subs, and I hope you enjoy your ad-free viewing and these funny little emotes. But yes, for anybody who isn't subscribed, I will be putting y'all on the ad break. Otherwise, you will get to hear us chatting and stuff during those 3 minutes. And don't worry if you are watching the ads. Afterwards, you'll hop back into us during our break. Meanwhile, I gotta get myself a little snack or whatnot. I'm not hungry enough for dinner, had a big breakfast, but I am hungry enough to have something. So, be right back.
Well, I'm back.
Yes, hello.
Oh. I was waiting for somebody to yoink Poi there for a second.
I'm vibrating in the stand.
Just like, oh, here comes the telekinetic shove or something.
I just fucking.
Just grab the tail and pull.
Oh.
I have returned with a snack.
Outstanding.
Yeah. I should have guessed the necklace was going to be a little much, but you know what? Screw it.
Eh.
I'm trying to not be the
Charisma
only
is
diplomacy
always
boy,
a.
but I feel like I should just do it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as is charisma.
True.
Charisma is also one of the hardest stats to, like, fake roleplay. So,
Politics.
yeah.
Also true. As I walked into my kitchen to grab a snack, I almost stepped on a baby lizard. I said almost, I didn't.
Running around in your house?
Yeah,
Oh, wait, that's right.
I'm in Florida, yeah.
Yeah, they just appear.
They do.
They spawn. There's a spawner in your house somewhere.
Yeah. Sometimes even the adult ones are seen like on the walls or something, and I'm just like, oh, hello.
The other day I was sitting here at my desk, and my cat was on the back of my chair, and she was looking into the kitchen with very apt, rapt attention. Like she was like dialed in.
Like
And I
something's
knew
there.
that look meant that there was something in the kitchen that wasn't supposed to be there. And I look over, and there was a slug that had somehow found its way inside. I don't know how. And I was just like, that's not great. And then immediately start looking around to see if there are other slugs. Uh, and my cat, love her to death, she will point these things out, but she won't do anything to them. She won't attack them. She just wants to. She'll get up close to
Stare.
them, and she'll even be like, "Oh, look at that!" Like paw at them maybe, but she won't do anything to them.
I find that kind of cute, honestly.
She can't be bothered.
I don't. I call that slacking. What do I pay
Yeah,
her
that's
for
my-
it? No kidding.
I know that's no. She the way she sees it, that's my job.
Slacker. Can't believe it.
Cute. Cute kitty.
Kick her out. Fire her. Not worth it.
Funny.
Not worth the money.
Funny enough, before we started today, I was watching an anime with a friend of mine, and what they had on their screen was it's an anime where it's a ramen shop run by cats.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
in.
surprised.
it's very cute. It's like it has two chef cats, it has a CEO cat, it has a server, and it has the one that does the handmade making dough for the noodles is done by a tiger.
I definitely I'm a sucker for anything that's kind of a slice of life looking kind of thing done in a different way. I love it.
I return.
Me too.
That's
I'll
like
go back.
I say that Deep Space Nine is my favorite Star Trek because it's a slice of life Star Trek.
Yeah, I can see it.
I'm a TNG Foxy myself.
Like TG is still like I think the best, but my personal favorite is still DS9.
Oh, DS9 was my second.
Yeah. I
Kinda
think
like-
maybe
kinda-
only because of Cole Meany. I love
yeah.
Chief O'Brien.
Mm.
I'm always seeing Cole Meany in other roles, and I'm just like, what is Chief O'Brien doing as a police investigator? Do you not know your role?
He had
Do you?
the sweetest thing, like the sweetest moment. I feel like I think it was the first episode of DS9 where he was leaving the Enterprise to go to DS9, and he was being reassigned and everything, and he was in the transporter room with Jean-Luc Picard, and he was talking about how this was where it all started. Like this is transporter room 2. That was his transporter room. That's where he got his start in Starfleet. And I was like, that's not Chief O'Brien saying that. That's Cole Meany saying that, because this was one of his first roles
Mhm.
back in Star Trek, was Next Generation, being the teleporter room guy. And then they
And he
just
did it
liked
so
him
well,
so much.
And he did it so well that they made a whole bunch of episodes that revolved around him, around like
Yeah.
his, personal side to it. He became more than just like, oh, that is the transporter chief.
Yeah.
There was a lot more background to him. We got to know him a lot better.
Went from background character to recurring character to main character. Like, how awesome is that? That's like the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to play the same character the whole way through, all the way through. That's pretty cool. Anyway, if everybody's back, Dirk, you back? Maybe.
Guess not.
Dark.
Everybody with with the psychic bond contact.
Yeah, just like,
Get over here! I'm gonna psychically tell you.
The irony of how long Dirk is gone is really funny, knowing the layout of his apartment. And I'm like, really?
Wait, his apartment?
Yeah.
I thought he's like at home right now.
Can that not be one's house?
Well, is he in
One's
an
living
apartment?
space?
Oh. Oh.
Dirk!
Hurry the fuck up!
Oh,
Did it work? Oh well.
We should start
Oh,
without him.
man. Yeah, you guys are gonna have some
Oh,
explaining to do.
Well, we already explained the who gives a shit Prince
Yeah.
thing. I think we're fine.
this is like having to step in front of like 5 or 6 high school principals after a food fight.
Yeah.
And you didn't even start
Didn't
it.
you think? It's like, why didn't you think about the rules though? It's like,
Really?
why didn't the bullies think about the rules? I don't know.
Did you think about the teacher who got a face full of beef stroganoff? Did you think about her?
Damn.
It's like real life. Oh, let's cater to the criminals. It's like, okay, why? They're not gonna follow your laws because, well, they're criminals. In this case, it's
This-
domestic terrorists. But hey,
In this case, they don't care about any of the laws.
right? Yeah.
I think that's the point to make. It's like, oh, well, it was.
They're like,
was
we don't
pretty
like
much
your
made.
whole society. We're just gonna get rid of it.
They want to perform genocide on everyone.
Why don't you say this in court?
I will.
I'm trying to stay in the background and be like, I'm gonna do the consultations. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just gonna interrupt now.
It's
Yeah, I mean,
You have the power, I believe in you. You also have an advantage.
not that helped me. 2 8s.
That's a rare situation.
No, that's a Tazel situation. Touch
Yeah.
dice, get suck.
of just because I have the spell up and I don't know, for flavor. How many dings am I getting among the crowd here?
You
Oh,
know,
for detect magic.
detecting magic. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Everyone's wearing something.
Oh yeah.
I mean, magic items are. You're in Waterdeep, so
Mhm.
people would be wearing a lot of
Am I-
very special
Magic
items.
bling is strong here.
I suppose I need to, because you could detect. Let me look at the spell again. Hold on.
Like you can tell what school of magic.
Yeah, that. I would want to be trying to sense. I suppose illusion would be one of the schools I would like to look for.
Okay.
And that would be the one I would be keeping my eye out for the most.
One of the nobles just stands up like, I'm sorry, I'm using illusion magic. I got a stain on my coat.
Get him out of here!
Somebody dispels all illusionary magic, and like one of the nobles is just like suddenly like 30 pounds heavier and slightly bolder. Just like,
They're
oh
actually
no,
just- They're literally 3 kobolds in a coat.
Yeah.
3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Trench coat.
we undo the illusion magic, and it turns out everyone's hiding something.
Everyone
wouldn't be
is 3
surprised.
kobolds in a trench coat.
We're in a court. Like, of course everyone's hiding something. What are you talking about?
Yeah, these are politicians.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I mean,
politicians
you
and
know what I
nobles.
mean. turns out everyone's a little bit ugly, and then we all like, everyone's a little bit ugly. Let's
Then we start singing an Avenue Q song. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yes.
Oh
We all
god.
just break down into a musical. Uh,
The reprise of Daggerford the musical.
The spin-off
Dana
nobody
said
asked
5
for.
minutes.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go ahead and
Start it up.
something must have come up for Dirk.
Yeah.
Probably.
did I not capitalize the D? That's why it didn't work.
Yeah, usually I have to tab over in Discord to get the complete.
Ugh.
All right. Well, we'll move forward then, and I'm gonna assume that Dirk just got pulled away for something. So. All
Okay.
right. So, after you had answered a few questions, thrown a few accusations around as well, King Melendrock finally decided that he was going to speak up in the matter. As the king, though he it usually appears old for an elf, does seem to be a bit more gaunt than previously. It would seem that the revelations of the last few weeks have caught up to him, and despite the longevity of the elves and their nearly eternal vigor, he does appear to look just a little bit older and more weary. But as
no.
he stands and addresses the gathered delegates, his voice is also worn and solemn. It has come to my attention that I have been the victim of a plot. A plot to draw my attention away from the actions of the cults of the dragon and the Eldrath Valuthra within my borders, and even within the walls of my own chambers. My sincerest apologies to those whom have suffered as a result of this. To think that a green dragon was terrorizing my forests, and I was manipulated like a doddering old fool to believe that it was nothing. My attendant, Velfor Amberlight, was responsible for these manipulations, a sympathizer with the Eldrath Valuthra. He agreed to alter my memories of the sightings of the dragon attacks and other strange movements from the cults. He also manipulated me to believe that my son, Narenvain, was dead. However, it has come to light that also was not true. As he looks to all of you, my son and I disagreed on my positions within the Lord's Alliance, and his insistence on isolationism and elven supremacy grew to become too dangerous to have within grasping reach of the crown should his ambitions grow too dark then. I made the difficult choice to exile him and remove his birthright. When I received word of his death, I was relieved, for it meant a closure to a chapter of my life that was akin to a painful wound, one I have now had to rip open again with great pain, humiliation, and shame. I have failed my people, the Lord's Alliance, and all of Faerun. As an act of atonement, I wish to dedicate my forces to the cause of combating Tiamat. However, I must still consider what is best for my people. I cannot dedicate my whole army and leave my lands vulnerable to an attack from the Eldrath Valuthra. This is not the first time we have dealt with their kind, and certainly will not be the last, but I cannot risk them invading my territory while we are fighting Tiamat's forces. But what I can provide will be more specialized and focused. Experienced rangers and archers who will be able to bolster the frontline forces. And with this, I must also concede, as he looks around to all of the delegates, that we are most certainly at war. A war where blood is being spilled, sovereignty is being violated, and the stakes are monumental and very real. With this, concession that I have made. I accept. We must do what we must to save all of Faerun. Should the Platinum Dawn need our assistance, we shall be available, and should they need our endorsement, they have it wholeheartedly.
Eldrath's thinking telepathically. I wonder how quickly his mood is going to change when we ask him to apologize on behalf of all of Elvenkind to the ancient dragons.
Telepathically, I was thinking the same thing.
Zuchi says telepathically, leave that to me.
Got it.
Understood.
But with his endorsement of your group, there does seem to be a shift with some of the other delegates. Someone certainly who would have very good reason to have any animosity towards you has shown that you are to be trusted and is willing to put their name and reputation behind your actions.
To this, Zuchi, as Wei, takes a deep bow of gratitude, visibly but silently in front of the court. Are there any
As,
other murmurings? Yeah.
Lady Silverhand does call for attention as King Melendrox sits back down. I believe that is enough for today. I'm certain that the Platinum Dawn will be available to speak with you all individually if you have further inquiries, but we do have other matters to address. As many of our delegates here were made aware of, the Council of Ancients was called recently, and representatives of the humanoid species were requested to attend. It was the decision of this council to send the Platinum Dawn. I will again yield to Lady Haventree and her group, the Platinum Dawn.
Does Lady Haventree speak up?
She mostly yields to you, actually, as she does not have much to add on the matter of the Council of Ancients, so...
All right.
There wasn't anything
This
that really
time-
required her input, you know?
That's true. This time, Wei seems to get a little taller as he kind of speaks towards the entirety of the crowd. I will speak on behalf of all of us here regarding the Council of the Ancients. Indeed, I believe that I may have a special connection to them more than most might know. And then he sort of steps out from the table, but also allows sort of his guys to fall away. Similarly to what he did in at the Council of the Ancients as well. I apologize for any surprises. But in fact, one of the members of this light, this Platinum Dawn, is I, Prince Longchen Ziqi of the great Empire of Longor. And there we have spoken to the venerable ancients. Dragons that I have heard in this land to have disappeared. But instead they are there. Of gold, silver, copper, bronze.
And brass.
And brass. And brass. And brass. I was trying to remember what the last one was.
We got you. We got you.
I was like, yeah. and
Rarest
brass.
telepathic bond for the win.
There we were able to negotiate. They wished to act. Of course, they notice that Tiamat's presence is getting ever stronger in these lands, and they wanted to wipe it out at any cost, including your lives. However, we have brokered a deal instead. In fact, they are willing to help us, help all of you. But in turn, we must also ask some assistance. There have been many wrongs that have occurred in these lands. Centuries, millennia. Only ancient dragons and the most venerable of us know or remember. He looks towards Melendrock first. I must thank you first for endorsing us, but I must also ask of one more thing that only you will be able to help us achieve in these matters of politics. The great gold dragon, Protantha, remembers a great wrong that has been done to his kind. And he merely asks for your insight, your words. And several hundred years of pain will be forgiven. I have asked him, and I have asked more, for in your own forests, I have heard of a name. I heard the spirit known as Coralon Larethian speak to me to say that this pact, this armor that can be made between you, all of us, and the metallic dragons can be repaired despite past. We must only address the tarnish that is upon it to remove it. Would you be so willing to talk to the Council of the Ancients?
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Persuasion.
Get it.
Can I have double advantage? Just kidding.
Oh,
Double advantage.
Oh, darn. Mid-roll, 25.
I know, right?
Damn, that's mid.
At plus 13.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, really. Believe me, all DMs worry about the bard.
Yeah.
had to deal with me for 4+ years.
You do see a range of emotions go across Melendrock's face as you are speaking, but when you get to speaking about repairing and centuries of pain, his recent revelations seem to give him pause before he nods. As a matter of honor, you are correct. There was a wrong that was done. And it was done out of fear, and it was not an excuse. You are correct. I will agree to these terms.
A great many thanks to you, Elven King. I understand from the entire court that they only seek safety and prosperity for their people. And sometimes mistakes do occur. Perhaps it is because they are all metallic dragons, those born of Bahamut, that they understand the good in all things, including another favor I must ask from another great king. He turns to the dwarven ambassador. I have heard of an event that used to occur. One that has unfortunately targeted not only the dragons that wished harm upon us all, but those that fought them. Another great ancient, Elia. Or I'll say her full name. Atara Elia Carnos.
Not fun, is it?
How does this go? Yeah, no, it's not.
Telepathic.
Atari,
Remember the guttural.
Atari
Remember the
Elia
guttural.
Carnos. Atara Elia Carnos. No. A family member of her was turned into a suit of armor. And she only wishes it be returned. The remains.
Telepathically, Cam will say, "Did she also want apologies?"
Telepathically, and we'll get to that.
Telepathically, okay.
The trying to remember what I was about to say.
Turn
You're
into
on the armor.
an armor. Turn into
Mhm.
armor.
Hold on.
One
Hold
of it
on.
returned.
Yes. Hold on.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Yuck.
No,
so sorry.
damn it.
Oh no!
It was like something along it's more platitudes to make people feel like they did the right thing in their opinion in the in the past, but we need their help now. Oh yes. And if this is hard, if there is some difficulty in agreeing to such a term, I believe there is something, I am not certain, a spirit of the forge, a great tinkling of hammers, and then it's like Zuchi is trying to recall and can only remember the pieces of his vision. I have asked them, but we have spent much time in the mountains as well, and the earth. There is a deal. Some form of deal that must be honored. If we must strike one now, let us do so. But we do need your assistance as well. And with these two acts of reparation, metallic dragonkind and humankind, all persons, we shall form a new bond and usher forth the dawn. Ray of Tiamat.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check. You still have advantage, I believe.
Yee! Oh, that's the time we needed it too.
Ambassador Braunanvil, he does not look happy. Like he looks rightly furious that this is a position you're putting them in, and it is very obviously a awkward and embarrassing spot to be in, to be called out like this. But as he seems to weigh all of the options before him, he speaks up. While the Dragon Moots were great events that were ways to protect our people, we do recognize that they were of an overzealous nature. I will speak with the kings and see if there is a possibility that we can arrange a formal apology and a return of the items in question.
Thank you. It is for the benefit of us all that we recognize the good in all things and work together to fight against Tiamat and her allies, her supporters. In fact, it is the reason I have been sent here. We, in the distance, the far lands in the east, know that this is also a threat. Not only to Faerun, but the entire world. Thank you for hearing me. There may be many questions. I open the floor.
As Lady Silverhand stands, these formal apologies were the only concessions that were requested.
At that point, Cam will step up. No, there was one more. One of the dragons, I think it was the brass one. Luther. I'm pretty sure it was the brass one. He had said about the dragon masks. He said that the dragon masks were too powerful to leave in this world, and that they should be taken and, he said, lost to time. And for what it is worth, I agree with him. These masks have been the reason that we've had people spy on us and steal from us and kill. And it has been nothing but pain. Nothing but suffering. I know there will be people who would want to look at it, poke at it, and see how they work. But I believe in what the metallic dragons want in this. And as a champion of the King of Good Dragons, I would ask that you honor their last request. When, not if, when we defeat the cultists and we push back Tiamat, that we give the metallic dragons the masks, so that this does not happen to any of us again. And he bows his head.
Before negotiations upon that continue, Zuchi would speak up. Might I remind you all that these masks are artifacts, Tiamat. It is not something to be trifled with. I support our champion's idea. Slayer of evil dragons that stands here, to say that these masks should be given up to the dragons that know how to leave all of you alone. And to foster an age of harmony. Zuchi bows and gets back.
The human man who is older human man who is in like wizard robes next to gentleman from Baldur's Gate looks at Lady Silverhand. I would say that it would be a bit premature to agree to this, if only to voice concerns that I might have regarding these artifacts. I do respect that they are of a religious significance to many. However, they do appear to have some magical qualities to them, and studying them could be beneficial to our efforts, and certainly taking calculated risks are not, one could say, unnecessary.
God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Does
If I if there is a pause on this, has this man been introduced at all? We know his name?
No, he's been largely quiet through most of the meetings. This is the
Okay.
first time he's really spoken up. He does seem to be more interested now that you're talking about magical items.
Right. Canberra will address the man. Good sir. We understand that there is a great power in these masks. But with that power, we have found that those who possess it, even for the best of intentions, have trouble brought to them, if not taking on the troubles and taking on the evil that those masks represent. I have learned myself of one of the great unspoken truths of Bahamut. There is no peace without sacrifice. This is a sacrifice we must make in order to secure the safety of everyone who draws breath here, including our magician friends, our warriors, our nobles, our workers. Everyone who draws breath deserves the protection. And if it means giving up things that do not belong to us, then we should sacrifice so that there can be peace.
Canberra,
Telepathically. Go ahead.
I was going to ask for a persuasion roll from Cambro.
Telepathically, Eldrath will say in Draconic to Cambro, well spoken, brother.
But you have
Oh wait,
advantage.
there's disadvantage.
You have advantage.
You had
Do
advantage.
not.
Well, I was gonna ask something really quickly, because of the point that was brought up. While they're speaking, can we recall any historical event through all of his studying, going through the tower, not only of Luskan but also of the Blackstaff, etc., where this sentiment of basically taking a quote unquote calculated risk caused great suffering instead.
I mean, there would be multiple places where that could apply.
He would like
As
something
far-
more, yeah, like look local
Yeah.
or famous at least.
Just let me socially die.
Yeah.
Could it be possible that
Don't.
our collective thinking tank here could bring up something? I don't know. A group history check, maybe?
All
A
right.
gristery trick.
I'm trying to think of anything that would be really poignant or relevant to this, because I mean, there's multiple situations of calculated risks, I suppose, but there could be equally as many in favor of taking calculated risks. So that's
It's interesting, but also, he's trying to make a point. So obviously we're cherry picking a little bit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for myself, I just don't remember enough about D&D lore to to pick something out.
Just
gonna say in this situation, there's too many vast varieties of situations that could apply, but could equally also play to his favor as well. However, with Cambro speaking from the heart, while this individual is not swayed, you can see that several of the other delegates and representatives do seem to consider Cam's words a little bit more seriously, as the gentleman from Baldur's Gate leans over and says, "Tan, really, I think that this situation requires us to not poke the bear, as it was. Oh, come now, Ravengard. It is not such a bad thing to know what we are dealing with. Look, I have lived a very long time, and these artifacts have not come up very much, and it's an opportunity to learn more about them. And the more we know about them, the more that we can combat them in the future if they were to ever come forward. And I would be happy to hand them back over, of course. That is not my concern. I would not wish to keep them. I would just wish to study them. That is all."
Can Eldrath speak up?
Sure.
Okay. If the masks are the metallic dragon's property, I believe you would need to speak to them to get this request fulfilled for your studies. Kind of rolls that word around his tongue distastefully. In my opinion, I may be young, and I may not know the magics as well as you, but sometimes not knowing everything is okay.
Go ahead and give me a what are we gonna call that? I'm just gonna call that straight charisma. So go ahead and roll charisma with advantage.
Okay.
Please do better than me. Thank you.
You do hear some tittering through the some light laughter. Mr. Ravengard, the man from Baldur's Gate, next to this Tarn individual, does seem to laugh a little bit at that. As even Tarn does seem to chuckle a bit. Yes, yes, of course. Not knowing things is fine. I'm just saying that we have the opportunity, and I think that we should not throw it out so callously. But it would appear that I might be in the minority of this opinion. As Lady Silverhand does speak up, Master Hornblade, I would appreciate the opportunity to learn more about these items. I myself am also fascinated by it. But the truth of the matter is, they are quite very evil items that are associated with Tiamat. And we have seen that they have done very dastardly dangerous things to procure them. Including, it would seem, taking the life of Lord Olbrinter, our good friend Ramalia's late husband. I would seek that we could avoid these matters in the future by removing this from the table. And I think it would be for the best, and I would hold that to a vote in a later time. We do not need to. I'm certain that there will be many discussions that need to be had about that, but I would request that everyone do keep in mind that we are dealing with matters of grave, evil, and nefarious natures. We should not be so callous.
May I speak up?
As she yields to you.
Let me have an opinion. As one who comes from a country where the dragons wish to work with their people. We completely understand. Should the people need an understanding of artifacts. However, there is no reason to do it behind their back. Merely ask if you wish to acquire these items. But I believe you must make that request, and give good reason for it. These dragons are not ones without logic.
Well, I will consider it. I do still have myself of the opinion that we should look into these matters, but I will table it for now, and I will reach out to everyone to speak to them privately regarding the matter, so that we may take this over a more favorable location, perhaps a pub or a nice cup of tea, as he smiles as he looks around.
The Chi nods and yields and steps back.
Telepathically, Eldrath is swearing at Draconic and saying, "Stubborn old fool."
Telepathically, Zvichi says he'll never get them from the dragons.
No.
But we should encourage him to make a fool of himself.
Agreed.
Well,
Everybody give me a perception check.
Oh boy, here we go.
oh boy.
Perception.
Perception.
Gee, now I get a high number.
Bastian ever make it back?
Oh, he's here.
Okay, okay.
I am here. Just muted.
Hi.
Boy. I totally noticed that. Yes, I
Oh,
did.
well,
Wow.
well.
He is
Nothing's getting
so
past
here.
us.
He's keeping an eye out. He's not doing any talking, but he's keeping an eye out.
That's all I can do.
The tiefling woman who has been sitting behind or not King Meldra, excuse me, but sitting behind Lord Neverember, shifts in her seat a little bit as she's trying to get. It looks as if she's trying to get a little bit comfortable, and the movement draws your attention as all of you except Eldrath. You don't have the right angle on it, but the rest of you see on her her leather jerkin that she is wearing, that there is a symbol, an emblem, one with a gold background with a black winged serpent in the foreground, signifying her allegiance.
Do we know what that is?
I would say Poi definitely does.
Oh.
I would say Eldrath does. Everybody else would need to do a history check. That'd be Cambro, Prince Ichi, and Bastian.
Eldrath
History
does.
is that just because.
Wait, Arai
Wait,
can't?
wait.
Doesn't know.
Okay, hold on. We're telepathically bonded, so not only do we all see it, but
It's a
the images
communication.
in our mind.
It's not a complete. It's not a complete transfer of thought. It's a communication. You can
Okay.
talk. You can
Don't-
communicate with each other as if you're talking.
Don't worry, Ethan. We'll get you in on this.
So Arai doesn't roll a history, just everyone else?
History.
No, Arai does. Yeah. Poi
What are you
and,
talking
Oh,
about?
damn! Bastian!
No way!
Oh my
Why?
god.
Serpent's pretty.
Uh,
I know it all.
I'm drawing a blank from it.
So, the prince, unfortunately, not being from Faerun, is not fully familiar with all of the factions. However, the rest of you recognize immediately that is the symbol of the Zentarum.
Telepathically, Cam will say, "Is that tiefling got a symbol of the Zentarum on her?"
It's looky here.
From the name, would Zachi be able to understand?
Once it's mentioned, you have heard the name of the Zentarum. You've also heard of them from another name, the Black Network.
Hmm.
So Facebook.
Damn.
Shots fired.
Am I wrong?
You can't
mean-
say that, they'll get us.
Yeah, Zuckerberg
Craigslist.
knows how to do it.
That is dangerous company.
Continuing telepathically. What is she doing here? Did
How
anybody else
did she
see
get
that?
in here?
We
Are you all trying to hide your
Little-
gaze, by the way?
Yes. I'm hiding.
Yeah.
Right. I would need
Trying
deception
to.
checks if you're trying to. If you're trying to hide your gaze, I will need deception checks.
Okay.
Yes, this is
Oh,
cute.
yeah, I don't do
Decept.
deception, so
Oh, please,
he's
deception,
staring.
please, deception. Yes!
Regular old deception. Oh no, wait, charisma with advantage then?
I got dirty 20.
No, you don't have advantage. Just
I don't know.
Just trickstering.
I was thinking the trick you
Yeah.
had.
Oops.
As,
stares directly.
Disrespectfully.
Nice hair. Okay,
Am I supposed to roll? Because I didn't see it. I didn't see her or it.
Well, you're now looking at her.
Yeah.
You just didn't
Oh,
see
okay.
the emblem
Deception.
originally.
The thing.
With advantage.
Woohoo!
Okay.
Nice.
24.
As you're all trying to not specifically catch her gaze, Cam, however, not trying to hide their interest as it is, and Bastian just blatantly staring.
That's why I got that's why I got the 20. I was trying
Yeah,
really hard to focus.
Laser focused.
Focusing.
Also, Poi apparently.
Yeah, somehow.
Good job, boy.
I'm not on my A game.
Eyes don't lie.
As this tiefling woman is looking at you, Cam. Your eyes lock, and she just smiles, and you hear in your head as she mouths the words, "I would like a meeting after this meeting, if you wouldn't mind."
Holy Bahamut.
Telepathically, how did she mouth all that? That's why I'm staring.
Telepathically, Cam will report this to everyone, and he also includes Leosin.
Leosin, who has
Leosin.
been paying attention but has been hearing all of this conversation, has looked over, and you note that he is looking at this individual, and he just says, Rianne Nightshade. How funny.
And
She wants to parlay, it would seem.
Can I respond back to her? Was this the same
Uh,
kind of like thing that Pearl did?
No, not sending. This is different. This appears to be something more of a short range kind of thing. She's mostly looking at you, and you get the feeling like either a yes or a no is going to suffice.
is it message?
It is
Yeah, it's
message,
probably
yeah.
message.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
yeah,
he'll just go ahead and say, okay.
Okay.
Give a visible nod.
Well, yeah, he'll
Okay.
go ahead and nod, like still a bit confused. His eyes are narrowed a little bit, but yeah.
Telepathically, Zuchi would say, if I know anything about the Black Network, they probably want some riches. Mayhaps the masks. Mayhaps something else. Be careful.
Bit bold of her to be.
Telepathically, Cam will say, "Oh, I'm not talking to her alone. Nope."
Isn't it a bit
something-
bold to be wearing your allegiance so openly?
You can't speak with her, unfortunately. She's not communicating with you all. She's across the room, so.
She just did a single target message to me.
But the meeting as it is seems to be winding down a little bit as people acknowledge that they will have to digest all of this information and discuss it amongst themselves before they can really come to a full conclusion on how to approach. But however, they do. There does seem to be, from what you can tell, general approval of your actions. That there has been a. You feel like you're moving the needle forward. People are listening to what you're saying. They're not ignoring you. They may be engaging with you and possibly disagreeing with you, but that's the first step to getting them to agree with you, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole of the meeting was largely successful for you all. And while this Tairn Hornblade fellow may be speaking of doing some fast and loose magic, perhaps, he doesn't appear to be doing it out of ignorance or anything like that, but more so out of a wanting to have all of the available information so that he is able to make a proper decision. So, but that being said, he does seem to be a little bit more haphazard, perhaps, with the risks involved. But then again, overall, your meeting is largely successful as it is concluded. People begin to filter out. Several of the delegates begin to pair off and go to speak with each other immediately in various sitting rooms. As walking up to you is this pale-skinned, black-haired tiefling woman who walks up to your group, smiling at Lady Haventree. It's like, Ramalia. Hello, Rianne. Lovely to see you. Thank you. It's not often I get invited to these things. I am sorry about your husband. He was a good man. Thank you, Rianne. That means a lot. If you'll excuse me, I do need to speak with some of the other delegates. As she flicks a look back to you, Cam, as if to say, be careful, before she walks away. As this tiefling woman looks at you and smiles. Rianne Nightshade, I'm sure you understand that I'm with certain individuals, as she taps her emblem.
Is she speaking to me directly?
Yep, she's to your group,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's a bit bold of you to be wearing that out in public.
Please, the Black Network does nothing illegal. We arrange various contracts and deal with people that offer money. We are interested in commerce and making sure that everything goes smoothly as it does.
Oh, really? Do you have an opening, by the way? I'll send my
I'm
resume.
always looking for more talent, actually.
Boy scratches his chin.
Boy, later.
Fine.
You wanted to talk with us?
Yes, actually, I spoke with Daggelt about the matter. Seems that something came into the possession of the Zentarum, and we were wanting to offer our assistance in the matter.
Okay.
Go
Pull
on.
it up,
Kind
sorry.
of assistance.
I'm pulling it up, sorry.
Oh.
I had it up, I thought, but now it turns out I don't, and now I've lost it.
Aha, even she doesn't know.
Only her hair.
Ah,
does it,
yes.
that's for sure.
Where did I put it?
The prince is
in
doing
my
courtly
other
things
pants.
nearby,
Aha,
but
there it is.
listening.
She's addressing your group as a whole, essentially.
Okay.
But she reaches into her side pouch and pulls out a folded up piece of parchment. A note from an interesting individual found its way into our possession. Someone who seems to be having issues with the Cult of the Dragon, just as you are, and perhaps might have more information, and perhaps even one of those masks, perhaps? As she smiles, her fangs hanging out of past her lips.
And what do you want out of it?
Well, we want a seat at the table, actually, I think, is the most accurate way to put it. Seems like there's going to be some major movements going through Faerun in the next couple of weeks, months, perhaps, maybe even next years. Who knows how long these kind of things play out. But we would like to at least make sure that we have all of the information we can use to make the best decisions, see where the wind blows, those kind of matters. Plus, more than happy to provide assistance to the Platinum Dawn, such a lovely name.
You
Uh.
you realize that we are still working under the eyes of the Harpers.
And
I'm just
is
making sure you know where we are getting our orders from.
doesn't bother me where Romalia sends her people. The real matter
And-
is that we are not trying to interfere with these matters. We are trying to capitalize on them.
Yeah, fair enough. But wait, did she answer what specifically she wanted? Just a seat at the...
Well, you do note that the Zentarum are not necessarily an illegal organization. They do dabble in things that may be questionable. However, they are mostly just a group of tradesmen, mercenaries, people who just are willing to do whatever they need to make a good buck.
They're running
Uber
Bitcoin.
capitalists.
I mean, they're not necessarily nice people, I will say that, but they weren't invited to this faction meeting, but they are equally as important and present in Waterdeep and Faerun, so they want to have a seat at the table, and they have information that may assist you.
Well, personally, I mean, if it helps our cause, I don't see what the harm in it.
You saying you want us to speak to the Lord's Council about your group being here for future talks?
Oh no, Lord Neverember will take care of that. That you don't have to worry about that. I have spoken with him at length regarding this, and he agrees that this is a better idea to make sure that all possible outcomes are covered. Because frankly, we're going to think of things that you haven't considered. And that is going to be a benefit, net benefit, mind you, to the entire operation. Yes, we're going to make a little bit of money on the side, but you're going to get the outcome you want. How is this a bad thing?
Shouldn't we get a portion of said money that you gain if we assist you in this?
Oh, please, no. That's not money directly from any of this. It is all money that comes from other ventures. This is all information, making sure that we are positioning ourselves so that we can make that money. We are not taking anything out of this at all. We are, in fact, providing at great expense, mind you. Great expense. Our own people and our own resources.
And our own
Again.
necks. We're the ones out there. Nearly dying.
And you do a great job at it, seeing how you are now 2 dragons down.
Yes.
So what's another one, if that comes up? Or perhaps, what, giants? I'm sure you can handle those as well. I think the only things that would really be of any concern are demons. And hopefully you're not dealing with that kind of thing.
That's under our belt too.
Well, all the same, I ask again, how is this a bad thing? And, as I said, as she whips the folded piece of parchment, this is a good lead for you. We certainly could look into it ourselves, but, you know, it's not really something that we could really get a profit out of, most likely. You know, certainly we might get something out of it. It's not really going to be worth it in the long run, so honestly, I could just throw this away into the fire and not be bothered. But for
Sir,
you...
Sir, you want us to just
It is a
put
woman, sorry.
So you just want us to put a good word in for you? That's it?
The conditions were that you were to accept our assistance. That seems to be the ultimate hang-up that Dagult has, because he does understand that the group that you have amassed here seems to have won over a few of the delegates, at the least. And it's best to keep you in the good graces as well. But seriously, I think this is something you would like to look into. And if you accept that, and I give you this piece of paper, you don't have to do anything else other than look into this matter. I'm going to get what I want, as long as you are okay with it. So again,
Are we
what's
still
so bad?
Are we still telepathically bonded?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Poi's gonna ask. Is there? I mean, they're not illegal, so like, I don't assume they're. Basically, Poi wants to know what could be.
The issue?
Yeah, if we accept the terms, because like she's obviously glazing us. Or just
Yeah.
Hey, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
May I try rolling insight to see if maybe her body language or something is giving off something different?
You can certainly try.
7. Never mind.
I think if
Would
we
anyone else like to
spent-
try?
I
I-
guess Poi could. Huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I guess Poi could try. Because he's asking. 24!
That is indeed a
Hey.
24.
Based on her body language and the way she is presenting this, she is certainly presenting it in a very specific way, in a way that is definitely beneficial to both of you. And it's not hard to tell that there's probably other things that she is not explicitly divulging, but that's to be expected from most negotiations. But something about this is that the Zentarum, up to this point, have largely not been involved with this, to your knowledge. There has been no real traction for them in this matter. You've not had any real interaction with them up to this point. So if they're trying this hard to get in on this, they really want it.
Mm-hmm.
They're desperate.
They
They-
want a piece of this pie.
Telepathically, Eldrath is thinking, I think you're holding the better hand here, and I don't want to be taken advantage of again. I believe we need to sweeten the deal in some way in our favor. But I don't know what they want, or I don't know what we can ask for.
Telepathically, Cam is going to say, I just want this to be okayed by Lady Haventree before we would accept it.
Well, I'm pretty sure she'll be fine with assisting us in these negotiations. Why don't we go fetch her? They do seem to be privy to each other.
Cam will telepathically ask again to Eldrath, do you want to try sweetening the deal, or
I have a feeling that more negotiation talks are necessary before we accept this, but I do want to accept it if this means we get a lead on another dragon mask. I don't want to
And
say
again,
no to this.
specifically, she's not asking you all to do anything regarding the approval or anything like that. That is being handled by Lord Neverember. Specifically, she's just giving you this information for you to deal with.
Oh, okay. So it's not like if we pick this up, we accept a contract or something.
You are not. There is no contract.
Okay.
She
was under
she
the impression
has
there was. I
information.
apologize.
No, she has information that she believes is important to you based on what she has learned so far.
Okay.
And she is willing to give that information to you and if you accept it, that means that she will be considered the Zentarum will be considered to be brought in.
Okay.
You are not
All right.
required to do anything regarding that. It's only your choice if you accept that you are going to take this information from them and begin that process.
So basically, we get to accept the terms. Or basically, if we accept it, it's not even our problem.
It's not your problem.
It's-
You're just saying
Ooh,
basically
okay.
like this information is important enough to us that we are okay with this arrangement.
And that
But
would
if you were
set
just-
it. That would
Yeah.
basically set it so that they could have a seat at the
Yes.
council.
Yes,
you are not
being asked for anything beyond that.
If it
Okay,
gives
I
us
mean,
the
I don't
lead,
see
it's
what.
probably best then.
I mean, I
Maybe
don't
we
see
could just
what.
ask for a favor from them then. Be like,
It's
hey,
more so a question if you are all willing to work with the Zentarum.
I mean, Poe's willing. It's not
That
his
is the
problem.
main question here. So,
Leosin is still connected to us, yes?
he has left. However, I believe the range is
Planet wide.
how far? Yeah,
Planet wide. Yeah.
it is it planet wide. Is it that far?
I'll repost it, but yeah, I think if as long as you're in like the
I
same
believe so. Yeah.
plane, yeah. There you go.
Any distance.
Any distance.
Any distance,
Any
planetary.
distance.
Wow. Okay.
Well, he's not present, so he hasn't heard this conversation.
Right. So telepathically, I would reach out to Leosin and briefly exposition the situation from what you had described and what this this agent wants. As in, do you think Lady Haventree will mind us accepting and put that in motion for the Zentarum to have a seat here?
Lady Haventree trusts your judgment, Cam, and always has. And if you believe that this is the correct call, then she will back you on this. I can guarantee that.
Poe's
Thank
going to speak up. I mean, from my perspective, I don't see what's really wrong with it. I mean, seems like won't even be our issue. We won't really be held to anything. And I know a contract when I see one, and this doesn't seem to be a contract. This just seems to be a little bit of taking it.
As Rianne just kind of smiles and like holds out her arms in an open expression, just says, "Well, honestly, the whole thing is that if you all were not wanting to work with my organization for whatever reason, I don't understand why, of course, but if for any reason you were not willing to, then we would leave and we would go about and do our own business."
I mean, personally, I've dealt with worse. So,
One last telepathic thing from Cam to the group. Do we have any other leads or information on the masks
Telepathically,
anywhere else?
not that I can remember.
Poe's gonna
This
ask you want. Poe's gonna ask you want me to just take it from her?
This is probably our best shot here, unfortunately.
Cam straightens up and he holds out his hand and nods.
As she gives you a Cheshire Cat grin with very sharp fangs glinting, as she hands over the folded parchment to you. You won't regret it, trust me.
Poe's gonna yank it. Yeah. All right. Glad you're doing business with you, ma'am.
Oh, by the way, my references are. Well, let me.
Oh yes, I'll have my people reach out to you. Are you more into the? Do you mostly work on the coast, or do you work in inland too, or?
I work mostly coast. Sorry.
Most coast.
Okay, later. We'll talk later.
Well, yeah, we'll be in touch. Don't worry.
Did you really just take that out of my hand?
Did you yoink it?
See this?
Oh yeah, I did.
All right.
Well,
Well, open it up.
yep. I'm on that. Poi's gonna claw it.
And read it out loud. Don't try and read it to yourself.
Poi's gonna read it to
Telepathically.
himself, but telepathically. He's gonna read it telepathically. He's gonna
Yeah,
see.
there you go.
Wait. Oh wait, he's gonna open it up. You don't know me, but okay, he's going to read it telepathically. All right, nice handwriting. You don't know me, but we can help each other immeasurably. My name is Iskander, and I made a terrible mistake in joining the Cult of the Dragon. The cult's horrifying plans are sure to bring doom to all, but I can stop those plans with your help. Rescue me from the cult's clutches, and I will deliver you the prize of prizes, the blue dragon mask. Without it, Severn faces an insurmountable setback in his effort to call Tiamat back to our world. The mask is here in Zonthal's tower, being studied and guarded by only a handful of wizards, including myself. The danger of my treason becoming known grows with every passing day, and if I'm discovered, I'll surely be killed. Please hurry for the sake of everyone and everything you value. Oh, that's sweet.
That's desperate. Telepathically.
Do we believe this?
Why does that name sound familiar?
Sounds like
yeah,
a
even
trap.
I'm starting to think that a little bit.
Iskander. Is it? Do I
I'll
recognize
just
it? As...
Guess
It's
is someone within the Red Wizards.
Hang on. Dana?
Yes.
Do tell me if I'm wrong on this. Isn't the name Iskander the supposable guy who used to be Rindavol's previous student?
No.
Okay, I was making sure.
That would be Ilyak.
Ilyak, thank you.
Oh,
This
are we gonna
name of Iskander is not a name you have heard before.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Does Cam or anyone recognize Zonthal's tower?
Roll a history check.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, I love that.
Intelligence, my favorite now.
6. Nope.
Is this an everyone thing?
History.
I mean, if you're all connected, so yeah.
Oops. Damn.
Wow.
Oh.
Time to
Activate the brain trust.
I mean, I got the 20 last
Thinking.
time. Brain. Okay.
Wow.
3
Reality.
sixes.
Damn.
I love
Oh,
that
no.
Arai and Bastian ironically are on the same wavelength. But for like Bastian, it's because, you know, like he's not really like a brainy type. But for Arai, it's like I've never had this many voices in my head at the same time.
What's going on here?
And for
Where's
Poi,
Rindavol
he...
screaming?
I don't think he cares.
Wow. I don't
Wow.
The triality.
While everybody's trying to think about this, like floating through the telepathic bond is Poi's voice just singing a sea shanty all of a sudden. No.
Yeah,
Oh,
Eldrath, you have read about a wizard by the name of Zonthal, but that was centuries ago. It was just another warmonger wizard that was in Faerun that had several books written about them as well. But their tower, yeah, they do still have a tower that is present. As for where it's located, that you're not sure.
Well, let's go study.
Or we could.
I mean, they're not even polite enough to give us directions. This is... Wait, who's this, Severin? Severin.
We could ask Vajra if she's still here. And quickly look around. Is the black staff still here?
As far as who Severin is, it's a name that has come up before for you all.
It's in the
Who's
book, right?
believed to be the leader of the sect.
Yeah, that was in Neverend's journal, I think.
Yes.
Mhm.
So we've heard
I'll
this.
just
Okay.
read that name.
But is Vajra here?
At this moment, as you go looking for her, she is not.
Son of a bitch.
It
Right,
seems
so
that
we're-
she dipped as soon as the meeting was over.
Another trip to the tower.
You do find Lady Silverhand is speaking with Lady Haventree at the moment, as well as Daggalt Neverember is currently speaking with Rianne as you all walk in, and she just kind of looks over and gives a smile before taking Daggalt Neverember's by the arm and just walking with him out of the room.
Does anyone here look like they know where a tower is?
I mean, Lady Silverhand's really old.
Okay,
Like,
that's good enough.
800 years.
That's good enough for me. Boy's gonna walk over. Good afternoon, ladies.
Oh.
Was a
Greetings,
lovely turnout.
It did go quite well. I think that there is much work to be done still, but it did feel positive, yes.
Just a heads up, we Zentarum stuff, Poi casts exposition about their deal, and he just hands the letter over. Here you go. Yeah, that right there, that's what we're concerned about. He says, pointing to Zonthal's tower.
Let me take a look here as she opens it up and starts reading through, and Oh, Zonthal! Oh, yes. I do remember them. My goodness, that must have been... Goodness, 750 years ago? It was a long time. Oh, goodness, it has been some time since I've heard that name. Oh, goodness, Zonthal's Tower. Where do I... Oh, goodness. I believe it was to the south of the Grey Peak Mountains, just north of the marsh there. Oh, goodness, it has been some time. I don't remember exactly.
Oh, south of the Great. That should, that narrows it down quite a bit, though, so...
Oh, yes. If you go there, I would say that do be careful. Zonthal was known for his eccentricities. The hedge mage is a lot of fun if you know how to get through it, I would say. If not, some people have taken a few days.
Mm-hmm. All right.
How
Well,
much time
that's-
do you
You'll
think
see when you'll see it when you get there. You'll understand.
Oh, I look forward to it.
Is it just Poi with those two, or are we all there?
I mean, he personally walked up to them. He didn't really ask
all right,
anyone
so
else.
I'm not there.
All right. Poi's. Wait, does Poi have a pen? Could you like write down what she said? South of a what now? North of a Hoodad?
South of the Great Peak Mountains, north of the
Okay.
marsh.
South of the Great Peak Mountains, north of the marsh. Awesome.
Which would
He,
put it somewhere in this area.
Hey.
Map there.
North of the. Well, it's okay. Well, it's a little. It's definitely.
East southeast.
It's a bit of a travel.
It's definitely a lot.
But we do have
Mounts.
flying mounts now.
Yes, we have flying mounts. All right, thank you. Hoy takes the note back. He does a little curtsy before walking back. All right, everyone, listen up. Good news or bad news first?
Good news.
Okay, good.
All right. The good news is there is no bad news. Anyways, we also have a rough idea of where Xanathar's Xylophone's tower is.
Your Poidian slip is showing.
I want to say that that's in character. I don't know. I just...
It was. Yeah, there's a it's like what is it? She said south of the Grey Peak Mountains, north of the marsh. Now there's only, if I remember history class, there's only one marsh that's south of the Grey Peak Mountains, marsh of who gives a hoot? Yeah, somewhere around that area. I mean, we don't have exact locations, but it's one hell of a start, if you ask me. They also mentioned something about
Dana.
Yes.
When Oterelia Carnos took us to the to where all the other ancient metallic dragons were, was it in that same area?
No, it was much further north.
Okay. Okay. I've never been there, but that sounds like a far way away. If we're gonna look this up, we better get going.
Sooner the better we can get those masks out of their clutches.
Still would like to get armor for Craigs before we go, because I don't want to lose them.
Well,
Because
we'll have some time for shopping before we skedaddle. Besides, we don't know exactly where it is, so it could take a while.
Have you been told of a landmark?
Mrs. Silverhand said something about hedge maze.
Hedge maze.
She said it was really fun. It might take a few days if we're not. Anyway, hedge maze. I mean, it's called a tower, so I assume it's not the most subtle landmark.
It is still a large area to canvass. However, we still have probably a few days to acquire the required sundries for the journey.
And I assume once we get, are there any settlements near that area?
Actually, as a most adventurers, you would know that most wizard towers typically are within within at least walking distance of a village, because wizards also need to go and get things.
Wow.
They also need to
Who'd
buy
have
stuff.
thunk?
So they
Wow.
typically don't actually. A lot of times they do not settle out in the middle of nowhere. So likely you will find a village nearby.
Is there any I guess I don't assume we'd be able to name any.
Unless
but
you
we,
have
like,
a map, you're not going to be able to. Yeah, you don't have a map. All you know is that it's in that general area. But if you were to get more information about that area, perhaps.
All right, who'd know about this area? I guess Boy can have some of his contacts.
That would take some research, yeah.
All right, time for research. Well,
Cambro is going to take the time then to talk with Lady Haventree and discuss with her our plans to investigate the tower. Unless she orders us otherwise, it's good to to look into this and make sure that if we can get the mask back, we will.
In this case, specifically, that it appears that the severity of the issue at hand seems to outweigh the disgust that the
Mhm.
mistrust and disgust that Romalia has, as she says, I think it is for the best that we do take this information. I understand that they will be more involved moving forward, which I'm not exactly thrilled about, but maybe having them closer to me will allow me to counter things that may be detrimental to Waterdeep.
Well, we'll leave you to that then. We're getting some armor for our mounts, but once that's done, we'll set out for the tower.
Good. You did well today, Cam.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to have a group name, I think. They seem to like it.
Well, as you said, Cam, the dawn inspires hope, and I'm certain that the Platinum Dawn will do the same.
He smiles warmly. Thank you.
Now, you go get something to eat. It has been a long day of talking and just absolute anxiety. I myself am ready for... Oh, goodness, I am just going to get a full meal, actually. I am not even concerned about it.
All right, we'll keep you updated when we're going to leave.
Please do. But I will... Please,
Goodbye.
just take time to relax. Don't worry about me, and have a good night, okay?
Okay.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
As she heads out,
Cam will return to everybody and just say she's said it was okay. Just to let her know when we leave. So once we get the armor on our mounts, and you guys do whatever research you want to do, we should be good to go.
All right, then.
Sorry, out of character. Mom said it's okay. We can go play at the Wizard Tower.
I was wondering when someone's gonna pick up on that.
Got Mom's approval.
This is the goody two shoes we're talking about here.
mm-hmm.
Also,
Right.
also he still feels a little self-conscious with everything that's happened with him and the demon and everything. He's really trying to stay in their good graces.
Yep. Well, with everything winding down, and you are all free to go off into the evening, you have been in this meeting for quite a while, having to repeatedly recast certain spells ritually, quietly if you could. But all in all, positive outcomes. Did well. As you all make your way back to your various resting places. For some, the temple. For some, the manors of the High Ward. Where's Boy staying nowadays? Is that down at the Yawning Portal, or?
Where we can usually. Sometimes,
Under a
yeah,
boat.
whenever you can afford.
An alley. Just
An owl.
I mean,
sleeping under
I
a
would hope you
box.
could afford. It's usually only like at most like a gold a day for like a quality room. So.
I mean, sometimes he doesn't even sleep; just kind of wanders. Checking out the nightlife.
Would you wander off after all of that? Need to unpack all of that?
I mean, he's probably going to do some research, maybe ask a few people who might know things.
All right.
Ask some people who might know things. Go
As,
to the library.
I was gonna
The
say,
library.
Orion would want to search for a
Library.
library for a map to search.
Yeah, why don't we have a map?
While Poi goes out to ask around and see if maybe there might be some more intel that he might be able to get from people. Asking a few of the very well-connected people that he knows. As you're moving through the streets, you feel a presence familiar to you, just off your side. Hello, Poi.
Yo. What's up?
As you see this time sketch in the visage of a kind of a shorter half-orc with kind of bluish-green skin and long tusks that hang out. Oh, coming by, collect, and get some more information. Although this time, the big man wanted to hear it himself.
Oh. Huh. What
As
specifically?
he leans down. Well, you're not doing anything right now, are you, Poi?
Actually, I was. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. Let's see. Let's. Why don't we pay him a visit?
Let's do that. That sounds lovely. As Poi and Sketch head off to meet with Xanathar. And that's where we're going to end it for today.
We.
Good start for the new year.
Not again.
You survived!
I'm just
We did it.
so tired of talking.
Can we just...
What do
Yeah,
you
Now is the
mean?
time. Now is the time for action.
Yes, I want to fight. Damn it!
do you know how I feel? Just bored into tears. Like
I'm
poor
tired of
Bastian's
fighting things
just-
with words. I want to fight things with
It's
fists.
like
This-
order of the gauntlet, not order of the
What do you-
debate.
What do you mean you're not just sitting there listening to everybody and picking apart their words, trying to find an opening and be like, I think I know what you care about.
Do I care?
I
Roll
was
to
so
see if you
sad that
care.
all of you missed the insight check on the beginning, because that let her fade into the background. But it was like so like I think it was a DC. What did I set it at? DC 15, and none of
And
you
nobody-
got it. I was just
Yep.
sitting there like, oh. I was like,
Yep.
she's gonna hear everything. They
Yep.
don't notice her. They're not gonna notice her. So, and then it was not until later when she finally decided she wanted to reveal her position. So
Good evening.
she got a load of information.
Damn.
Dice.
happened.
Shrug.
I know. So in the moment, it makes sense. Also, you're focused on a lot of things there, and it's just like, oh, it appears like one of the attendants for Lord Neverember is not really interested in being here. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, we're
Like, there's
interested in
several
being
people
here?
who look like they don't want to be here.
Mhm.
Camera pans over to Bastion.
Oh.
Bastion's just like, this is like school, but worse.
Is this detention?
Oh,
Like, at least at
Were they?
school, they give you food.
yeah.
Thank you for the game, Dana.
Yes,
Oh,
thank
it's
you.
just
Dana,
fun.
For a good start of the new year.
I promise more excitement in the upcoming
We're
sessions.
gonna. If we go to the.
That sounds like
I swear
that
to God,
Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. May,
No.
Oh no! What if the final battle between
may your
us
games
and
be
Tiamat-
interesting.
The final battle between us and Tiamat's just a debate.
That's
With
not
each
fair.
head.
She's got 5 heads to debate with.
She's got
I
5
only have
heads.
one.
She's able to make 5 separate points.
Oh,
I gave
no.
you
It's gonna be-
Do that as the final battle, and I was like, oh fuck.
You make a.
It's gonna. Just get a PowerPoint going. Now, if you look at the chart here,
Like, this is
What
why
do you
you
mean
should
the final battle as an a cappella battle? Damn it!
Where's the dance
Oh, perfect.
scene?
Dance
No,
off.
that's perfect. That means the bards get to do things. Let's go.
You only have one head. That's not fair.
if there's one thing dead about Orai, he is tone deaf.
It's just the moment like everybody's like, we need epic music. We need a dance that will blow their minds. And Eldrath and Zichi would just crack their knuckles and be like,
Right.
let's do this.
Hold our mead.
It's time.
Somehow Eldrath's lyre sounds like a Fender.
Cast lightning bolt through it. Turn it up to 11.
I don't know. A little bit of enthralling performance might help.
There you go. There you go.
Oh yeah, Glamour Bard. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Glam rock.
All right, I'm gonna go get warm. You guys have a great evening. See you next time.
Yep.
Bye. I'm gonna
Bye.
take a
Thanks a
shower.
lot for
See
the
you
game.
next time.
Thanks, Gabe.
Bye bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
What they said. I'm always the last to leave the call. I am very slow at the reactions. Y'all just want to leave. Nah, I kid, but it's a good time we have. Yeah, that was fun. I already thinking of the dang stupid raid message. I already got one. It's crazy. So, it's gonna be so dumb. Why am I not on emotes? I don't have the right emotes though for it. Zichi's got the riz. Prince Zichi. Oh, I hate that I'm doing this. Oops, one of them sliding, one's not. Oh man, my brain is fried. Too much debating. Okay then, so who do we raid? Let us find out. I don't even know, because I am not on twitch.tv right now, which is where I'm streaming this if you are watching the VOD. So, once again, every other Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific, which is, I don't know whatever time it is for you, but, man, it's tough, because I know a couple of people are playing Mouthwashing, and I'm like, I don't know if I want people to get terrified by it or get spoiled. But unless there are any objections for it, I will probably raid into one of those. Got 2 people doing it, which is crazy. Yeah, I raided into somebody else the other day. Sorry. Okay, it will be Radium Desu. Radium Desu, for anybody who doesn't know. Very good voice actor, singer, streamer, like just a lot of art, just very multifaceted. He's a sweetie too. I'm really looking forward to catching up with him. Oh my gosh, on Friday/Saturday. Panic. Alright, here we go. Radium Desu, we are coming for you. Okay, here we go. Time to do the outro. Stretch. Alright, everybody. I really appreciate y'all coming. Thank you so much for entertaining me in the ways we have done with the D&D. I know it's not a high interaction stream, but nonetheless, thank you all for entertaining me, and thank you all for letting me entertain you. Until next time. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Take care, folks.